Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the final of the URC. The Bulls taking on the Glasgow Warriors, two sides that were regarded as underdogs in their semi-finals last week, both coming out on top and now a massive opportunity to get themselves a first ever URC title. The Bulls are at home, which is a massive advantage. Glasgow, they were looking forward to the warmer weather compared to the conditions that they did play in last week up against Munster, but this game, it's going to be great. We've just witnessed Springboks taking on the Welsh. This one's going to be South Africa versus Scotland, and it's going to be a good one. But looking through at the lineup, first of all, for the Bulls, it is Gerhard Stennekamp at number 1, Johan Grobela at 2, and Wilco Low will be the number 3, Ruan Vermaak and Ruan Nokia as the locking duo. Now, of course, we also have to ask the question of these players, who is going to break through to the Springboks? The squad for the Irish test is not confirmed. There will be certain players added. There will be certain players taken out. Who out of all these men can make their way into that South African side? Marco van Staden at number 6 with Elric Lowe at 7. And a man who I do feel should be in the Springbok conversation, that is Cameron Hanekom. He has had a fantastic season so far. I do look forward to seeing how he plays in this game. And Bros Papi and Johan Hussen will be the 9-10 combo with Harold Foster and David Kriel, another man who I feel should be in there for Springbok contention. Kutli Arendse, there were talks that that man was not going to be available for this game, and there were also talks that he wouldn't even be available for the Irish series. But he's back. 2 weeks after getting knocked out, Kutli Arendse ready to go for what is a very important game here. For the Bulls, they want to make sure they're winning it, and when that man's on the field, they often have a very good chance of being able to score a try. Sergio Peterson out on the other wing. That is because Kane Moody, unfortunately, is not back for the Bulls here. Still has that finger injury, and Devin Williams will start at number 15 in this contest. So a big opportunity for him. No Villy LaRue at number 15. Looking through at the Glasgow Warriors starting lineup, it will be Jamie Bati, Johnny Matthews, who has scored 14 tries throughout this season so far, and Xander Fagerson slotting in as the number 3. Scott Cummins and Richie Gray in the locking duo with Matt Fagerson, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey. A combination that they've used often throughout this year, the Glasgow Warriors. Of course, the final was going to be no different. George Horn and Tom Jordan, the 9-10 combo with Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones as the 12 and 13. I always talk about the power that those two offer. Sione Tuipulotu having a very good game last week up against Munster, making a lot of meters. And the Bulls are one of those sides, you have to get them on the back foot as soon as possible. If you can start forcing them backwards, if you can start making them give away penalties in the breakdown, you often find yourself having a bit more of the success. Kyle Steyn out on one wing, Cancellieri out on the other, and Josh Mackay at number 15. But looking through at the chat, we have got so many people here already. I do appreciate you all being here. We will shout you all out. We've got Bruce here. We got Daniel. Different Daniel, of course. We got Robin, Saul, Jacqueline. We've got Michael, Frederick, Roof, world champs twice, and also Will is here. Yako is watching from North Dakota in the USA. So welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. And what did you make of the Box performance, Hamish? I thought first half they were a little bit shaky, which is to be expected. It was their first game in around 8 months. Second half, they started pouring on the pressure that little bit more, and they did look more like that Springbok side that a lot of people were expecting to see in that match from the get-go, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think that they'll go all right in their next game up against the Irish. What up, Hamish? Can't see the Irish standing a chance against the Box performance against Wales. First half, maybe. Second half, maybe not so much. Hamish says, Bruce, welcome in, and Bulls would dominate. Go the Bulls, says Rizal. And yeah, there are talks of a one-sided affair in this contest, but something that Glasgow have been praised about throughout the whole season is their defence. They are normally extremely strong, and they don't like budging. That was proven in their game last week up against Munster. Just looking through, they were able to beat Munster in that semi-final 17 points to 10. The game prior to that, they did win it up against the Stormers, 27 points to 10. Now, I should mention that one at home, that game away from home, and they were still able to get themselves the victory up against the Munster side that a lot of people felt were the odds-on favourite to win the URC competition. For the Bulls, they had a tough game up against Benetton at home, which they were able to win, 30 points to 23. And then their semi-final, they were able to defeat Leinster 25 points to 20. So one thing that is common at the moment, playoff rugby, the Bulls are winning by 7 or less. Glasgow, when they are away from home, 7 or less win. We could actually see this game be relatively close, even though on paper, some people feel like the Bulls may be the side. They do have the advantage, although with no Willie LaRue at the back, that just adds a little bit of a concern, I feel, for the stability of that back three. We have got there Fort McMurray, North Alberta, Canada checking in, says Leon. Hey, what, we've got quite a few people from North America on these live streams, which is pretty awesome. I'm not sure of the time zone at the moment for the USA. I think it's actually about 7:30 in the morning, somewhere around there. Don't underestimate the Scottish, says Manny M. Exactly right. I feel like this Glasgow Warriors side all throughout this year have shown that they are great at being the underdog because they have got themselves quite a few handy victories when they shouldn't have won, likes of, I mean, we see here 13 wins. A lot of those they were at home, but a few of the away games. I think the one that will be disappointing for Glasgow was that away game up against the Lions. When we think about it, all Glasgow needed was one more win throughout those away contests, and they could have had a home final here rather than playing in South Africa. And for the Bulls, they've got that motivation, not only to get their first ever URC title. They have been close. They lost the final of the first ever URC. But the other side of things is these guys are on a trial run. They are trying to play for their Springbok jersey. Hanekom, Kurtley, Arendse. I feel like Arendse is already in. Hanekom should be, but I have to wait and see if he does get the nod. Looking through at the Bulls bench, it is Akafanda Merva. He has scored 12 tries throughout this URC season. Martin Zima and Klopper there as the 17 and 18. Ludwig and Nassim Carr as the other two replacements. And then Zaga Chris Smith and Cornell Smith as the back replacements. For the Bulls for Glasgow, it is Turner, Macbeth and Kebble as the front row replacements. Williamson, Ferry and Fenter, they have gone once again with that same 6-2 split that they did use in their last contest. Dobie and Weir as the 22 and the 23. And in the chat, we have got 9:30 a.m. in Western Canada. And shame lots of crying Sharks fans, says Luke. And the Scottish drink IRB or IRU brew. And we have got there, hey Amish, have you ever drunk IRN brew? I have not, no. What do you think of Super Rugby final? Chiefs were completely outplayed and never found their rhythm. Yeah, it was a rough one. I'll be honest. Like, I wanted that game to be close, and I know a lot of people did as well. And I don't think many people predicted a 30-point victory for one of the sides in that game. But, you know, it's just one of those ones that unfortunately sometimes a final can be thrilling, and other times a side is just outmatched. And unfortunately for the Chiefs, they played their two big games in the quarters in the semis, and they just didn't have it for the final. But that's to take nothing away from the way that the Blues played, because they were extremely strong throughout that game, and they should be very proud of how they finished the Super Rugby competition. Ahoy, Bruce, says Juan there. Welcome in, mate. Well, Mel Gibson is watching, guys. And I try not to drink before noon, says Robert there. Morning again, Robert. Says Blues Nate there. But I have got a few interesting stats to do with these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. In terms of points that they have scored throughout this season, the Bulls have got the advantage. They have scored 669 points compared to the 546 points that we have seen scored by Glasgow. But the Bulls have also conceded an extra 80 points. So that is something that is quite interesting. The fact that the Bulls, yes, they've scored more, but they've conceded more, which could tell you why this game has the potential of being 7 or less. Tackle success throughout the whole season, 91% for the Glasgow Warriors. They pride themselves on their defensive line, and that is exactly what they will want to use here. They've had 95% scrum success throughout the season, Glasgow, and their line out 86. So in two of the three stats that I just mentioned, they have got the advantage. Bulls are tackling at 86%, so 5% less than the Glasgow Warriors, and their scrum success is 3% less than the Glasgow Warriors as well. When we look through at leading try scorers, Akafanda Merva has the most tries for the Bulls in this season with 12. Johnny Matthews has the most tries this season for the Glasgow Warriors with 14. Both hookers, and both will play pivotal roles throughout this game. Amish, you're still full of energy. I would be red-eyed and yawning if I stayed up as long as you, says Brian. I mean, I'm starting to feel it a little bit, I'll be honest. The eyes are starting to get a bit heavier, but that's all right. We will be fine throughout this matchup. I live in Bulls country, and I'm a cheater, so I know how good Franco Smith coaching is. So the Bulls can have a much more difficult time against Glasgow than everyone thinks. Bulls will win the final, no doubt, like the game is at home of the Bulls, so why not, says Abdullah there. Maniam, you ready for the squad announcement of the ABs? Possible some same squad, few new new additions added. And Chiefs didn't have enough X factor in the backs to offset the 40 kg advantage that the Blues had in the back. And they always talk about in finals rugby, your forward pack wins it for you. And the Blues were just the stronger forward pack. I have to say, you know, if the coaches were watching that game, looking at it as a game where players were under pressure, about 3 of the Chiefs backs, I feel, almost played themselves out of an All Blacks jersey from the way that they played in that match. And that is a shame, but that might not be the case. They may still get the nod. It is just around the corner, the squad announcement on Monday. Glasgow win, Hamish, you must wear the Scottish jersey for 1 week. I actually have a Glasgow Warriors kit. Fun fact, I don't have it on, but if they win, I might go get it. How about that? That would get me in a lot of trouble, though, so they have to win. If they don't win, I'm not wearing it. That is the rule. But Ambros Papia has the most the most defenders beaten, actually, for the Bulls. He's had 41 defenders beaten throughout the season. Josh Mackay for the Glasgow Warriors, he has beaten 52. And then most meters made 1,163 for Josh Mackay, compared to the 853 for Elric Lowe. So that stat in its own right tells me that Bulls have a lot more forwards, I guess you could say, making them go forward in this game, whereas Glasgow might have their backline as the more important and more handy part of the way that they play. Elric Lowe, he's made 215 tackles throughout the season as well. Glasgow defence is going to rattle the Bulls, but the Bulls are the favourites, says Albert, and hello, says Stefan, welcome in. And Blues, All Blacks going to smash England. And also England looking good, though. Many M solid hit out against Japan. Yeah, they look real good in that game. Cameron Honeycomb, most turnovers won for the Bulls as well. I should mention just the last stat that we had, alongside Scott Cummins, who has the most turnovers won for the Glasgow Warriors. But nonetheless, we are getting closer and closer to this game. We are 17 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds like a little while, but it is not too bad. We will be at the kickoff before we know it. Based off current form, the Bulls have won their last 5 games. Glasgow lost their 2 prior to the playoff games. They also won their last game up against Zebre. Those 2 losses coming at the hands of South African sides. I think they should wrote that after your com, says a Blues Nate. And Pink Blue Bulls kit, says Luke, for this one. Yeah, the 2 kits are relatively close in terms of the colour. It was quite nice to see 2 home kits in the Super Rugby final. We got to see the Chiefs and the Blues both wearing their home strips. I'm just looking through at the last time that Glasgow played the Bulls, just to see exactly how that game went. I think I looked it up a little bit earlier on, maybe on the last live stream, but the last time that they played was on the 12th of May, and it was 40 points for the Bulls, 34 for the Glasgow Warriors. So they kept it within 7, even in a game that was taking place in South Africa. I don't believe they've had the header the other way around, which would have involved Glasgow actually taking on the Bulls in Glasgow. By the looks of it, yeah, it is just the one time that the 2 sides have played this year, and it was that game split by 6, but a high-scoring game between those 2 sides. When is Eddie's next big wave? Been a while now. Says, cool story, bro. And go the Bulls go, says world champs twice, and the Bulls will thrive on the crowd's energy. Bulls at Loftus are super strong, says Lilia there. Although, like I mentioned, their last few Loftus games have actually been a lot closer than some people have anticipated. Last week winning by 5 points. The week prior to that winning by 7 points. The week prior to that actually winning up against the Sharks away from home. Their home game before that, 56 points to 35 over Benetton. Game before that one, Glasgow Warriors by 6. And then they won that game up against the Ospreys, 61 points to 24. So they've had a few close games with the exceptional blowout every once in a while. Scottish bringing it on. Bulls need steam. How much did you see Toulouse versus La Rochelle game? Similar to the Blues versus the Chiefs. La Rochelle had the 40 kg advantage. Toulouse had the X factor with Dupont and Tabac and Ramos to outclass them. Says Rugby. Yeah, those 3 in a combination are just very hard to beat, unfortunately. For anyone who goes up against them, it just never seems to really go well, but you never know. Maybe this game, and maybe, some of those matches that are happening for the internationals, maybe we see something a little bit different in terms of the forward pack size not playing as much of a factor in those games. But just quickly, briefly, talking about what is coming up for the Springboks. Of course, we have mentioned about the fact that some of these Blues, or Bulls players, I should say, will make their way into that Springbok squad. Their upcoming series that is up against the Irish, but it is a 2-match series. Sadly, not the 3 like a lot of people wanted, but it is going to be on the 6th of July, South African time. That will be a 5 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa, and it's going to be an entertaining game. Both sides stacked with talent, both sides nursing their own injuries. I mean, we look through at that Springbok injury list, and it is massive compared to some of the other sides in international rugby, whether that is the fact that Kane and Moody will not be there, whether that is Jean Klein, whether that's RG Snyman, although I think Snyman is actually going to be all right, just was left out due to Munster being through to the semi-finals. We've seen other forwards with injuries that have caused them to get surgery. We've seen that Stephen Kitsoff will not be there. Jean-Luc Dupré, I believe, another player out. Hendricks, I want to say, was on that injury list as well. And then I've also got Portugal. It's a bit of a fun one to end the month. That needed to be a 3-match series. Get South Africa to play Portugal, I would say. What time are they starting? Says Adriana. They are starting in 14 minutes' time, so we are not too far away from the start of this contest. Fletcher North was a good selection in the prediction. He is young and will develop well under Razor. And the benefit is he's already played under Razor for quite a bit of time too, so they've got that chemistry. Pretoria and Peak. John Hughes, School Rugby Film, says Gus there. And Chloe is supporting the Bulls, says world champs twice. And let's go the Bulls by 5, says Birdie V. And I really wish Wales can get their stuff together, be a top team again. The Irish fastball attack won't exist, Hamish. They're missing the cogs for that tactic. Sexton and Gibson Park along with Keenan and Hansen. They won't be close to the level they were at the World Cup, says Rugby. Although from that last performance from South Africa, not to push any buttons, but you'd also say from watching that game, it's very lucky they had a warm-up because they are not at the standard that they want to be at, and they will admit that from that contest. Second half was good. First half, there was a lot of rust, and I'm hoping that next game up against the Irish, they will go very well as well. Edward van der Merwe, just as good as Rinse and Colby, so the box be good, says Albert. And hi, Hamish, here for the Bulls win, says Tanya. And they're not too sure about Cody Taylor, says Manny M. I got criticised quite a bit for saying that Cody Taylor hadn't looked the greatest since returning. And, I don't know why, because when you look at the stats in terms of his lineouts and in terms of his penalties and handling errors, he hasn't been that good on those ones. Hamish, after this game, what's for breakfast? I don't know what it will be, to be honest. I think it will probably end up being a quick snack of some sort, and then I'll probably end up going to bed. Yep, he did, says Albert in there. Albert, he looked good, says Gus. Yeah, he did. And I saw even people criticising the way that he was playing, and I said he's done everything he had to. They haven't been out on his wing, so he hasn't had to make any more tackles. But those 2 try-saving tackles that he made off the line break of the Welsh, they were definitely the ones that put him a lot higher up in my book in terms of that defensive effort, because throughout the URC, he was only tackling, and I believe it was a 77% success rate. And getting him into that game, it was going to be a little bit of my concern. I thought that they might target his wing, although Wales didn't really get the opportunity to flow like that. For Crusaders featuring in the Barbarians game, old boy still got it. It's a massive shame that game overlaps with this one, I'll be honest. I wanted to cover both of them on the channel. For some reason, again, they just are not allowing Fijian rugby to flourish by giving them an opportunity to be seen. But yeah, for Cody Taylor, he's got 2 tries. Made 95% of his tackles, so that has been good. The line-out stat they don't have, but 4 handling errors, penalty conceded. He's been all right, but the line-outs are where you normally want your hooker to be great at, and he wasn't going that well. I like George Bell, another young talent that Razor can turn into world-class. There's Manny M for Crusaders. I know I read that one, didn't I? But we're only 10 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest now, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know your score predictions in the chat as well of who you think will be getting themselves the victory. Just looking through at the starting lineups once again for the Bulls. It will be Gerhard Steenekamp alongside Johan Grobler and Wilco Low as the front row. Vermaak as well as Nokia will be the locking duo with Mako van Staden, Elric Low and Cameron Hanekom as the number 8. That man is insane in terms of the way that he is able to get the turnovers for his side. Last week, I have to say it, I think Cameron Honeycomb, in the nicest way possible, I don't mean this offensively, but he single-handedly took down Leinster. That man was winning breakdowns. He had the most running meters. He had the most clean breaks, the most defenders beaten. I think he had the most tackles, the most turnovers won, the most meters made. He was just topping every stat that he could. And he just kept on going throughout the 80 minutes. And Broas Bapi and Johan Goosen will be the 19 combo with Harold Foster and David Creel on his outside at 13. Kutli Arendse, Sergil Pedersen and Devin Williams moves into number 15 due to no Vili LaRue. But now looking through at Glasgow, it is Butty, Matthews and Xander Fagerson. Now there's going to be a battle of tries being scored for the hookers perhaps. Matthews scoring 14 in this season. Akafa Namerva, who's coming off the bench for the Bulls, he has scored 12. So 26 total tries combined for those two men, which is pretty insane for an individual season. Scott Cummins and Richie Gray will be the locking duo with Matt Fagerson, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey there as the number 8. George Horn with Tom Jordan as the 9-10. Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones in the midfield, both very strong in the last week's game up against Munster. And then Kyle Steyn, Consigliere and Josh Mackay at number 15, who has the most defenders beaten out of any player in this game, whether that's Bulls or Glasgow. And I believe it's about a 15 defenders beaten advantage for that man as well. Honeycomb played his way into the box starting team. I agree. Although I feel like they might back Ruiz for a little bit longer, but I would definitely have Honeycomb as the 1 and 1. So you give one game to Ruiz, one game to Honeycomb. I feel like that will work extremely well for them, just to keep them a little bit fresh as well. Monaco 7's on the go. With the Blitzbox have to qualify. Blitzbox beat Mexico 44-0. Then beat Tonga 31-7. Next is Chile, which they should win relatively comfortable. On last week's performance, must be the number 1 choice for the Bok 8. Amish, you did not select Fakatava. He should be in that starting lineup. But I did. I selected Perenara, Fakatava, and Cortez Ratama. We have got there. Ruz wasn't great today. Says Albert, wasn't he? I felt like he was actually probably the best forward on the field for the Springboks. There was that one that he deliberately knocked down, but in terms of running meters and in terms of having an impact, he didn't get the turnovers and the breakdown, but to be honest, not many of the Springboks did. But I thought he was physical and strong and almost scored. Ruz just doesn't play up to what should have been. Huge and powerful. He doesn't dominate collisions like he should. Says LB. Did you, says Manium? I did, yes. Fakatava was in the video. And Australia, super strong, just too diverse in sports. Select one, and you'll be competitive, says World Champ twice. I need to watch that video again. You certainly do, and we might be releasing one. It might actually be Monday morning that next one comes out, just because I don't think I'll have time to edit it all tomorrow in time for the video to come out in the evening. So I think it's actually going to end up being a Monday morning release before the All Black squad is announced. Give us your new additions to the All Black squad, mate, now that Super is done. Video coming soon, rugby. But of course, we did make that video a couple days ago, giving our opinion. We got quite a bit of hate for it because, of course, we didn't pick certain players that a lot of people did want to see. Yeah, this game, it's close. And I'm nervous for both of these sides because defensively, I don't think either of these sides, throughout the season, deserve to lose this game. I think that they've both been strong and they both would be deserving champions of the URC competition. I think that the big problem that we may have in this game, though, is will the occasion get to certain players? Did Aaron Smith retire? He retired from international rugby, but he is still playing in Japan. So he's got about a 3-year deal, I believe, with Japanese rugby. So he'll be making some good money overseas, which is great to see. When is the test? 2 weeks? 2 weeks exactly, yep. At this time, in 2 weeks' time, they will be on the field, ladies and gentlemen, for Springboks versus Ireland, and it will almost be a half-time. Blues and the All Blacks going to be invincible when 2027 comes. Says Manny M. And Bulls win by 2 points. Going to be a nail-biter. And also we have got their true... Says LB and ahoy lads, it's been a while since Cited Canvas. Welcome in. It's been a little while, probably a month, maybe a bit longer. Cited lost the sold out on Tuesday already, says Betty V. Yeah, it does seem to be the trend at the moment, which is when there are finals on, the stands are full. Because we saw it for the Chiefs versus Blues game. They also sold out Eden Park. I think they sold out on the first day that they went up. I think that this one was very similar for the Bulls versus Glasgow supporters. They all wanted to get to the ground and witness what could be history, the first ever championship for either the Bulls or Glasgow. First year of the URC, we saw it be the Stormers. Second year of the URC, it was Munster. This year, will it be the Bulls or will it be the Glasgow Warriors? I'll be juggling between this match, Portugal versus Turkey in the Euro 2024 soccer match, Vamos Portugal. A weekend filled with sports. Did you watch the T20 cricket match yesterday between South Africa and England? I saw the highlights of it. I did not like his All Blacks team prediction, but yeah, a very close game between those two sides. Hamish did Aaron Smith retire. He retired from international rugby, like I said, but he didn't retire from rugby in general as he is playing in Japan. 6th of July, Loftus, and 13th of July in Durban. Says hang a rat. But yeah, sold out crowd for this matchup. It is fantastic to see. There is a sea of blue in the stands. Come on, Al, don't jinx us. Still 2024, another 6 months to go and 2 more weeks. Go the Bulls, thanks for broadcasting, Hamish. There's Yako in there as well. No worries at all. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for this match. If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as we got plenty more coming up in the very near future. Yes, you said sorry that I couldn't read, but yeah. I'll be watching Bordeaux versus Stade Francais at the other top 14 semi in the 3 hours. Says rugby. And there as well, they're talking about Devon Williams. He is going to be starting at 15. But the talk of the town was the fact that Kutli Arinsa is back here for the Bulls. Only moments away from the kickoff when we look about key players. Cameron Honeycomb, and also I'm going with their man Kutli Arinsa. And they have actually got no changes in their starting lineup for Glasgow compared to the Bulls, who have had to make quite a few changes due to either injury or giving other players that bit of an opportunity. But for Glasgow, like I mentioned, an unchanged 15. Hugh Jones and Tui Pilotu, their power is what we will be looking out for throughout the early stages of this evening contest. It is a 6 p.m. kickoff for this matchup. Quite an atmosphere at the moment at Loftus by the looks of it as well. Sold out at Loftus. Hey guys, like Hamish said, smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Says Birdie V. Nonetheless, yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button, of course, and do let me know your score prediction in the chat as the two sides are just about to make their way out onto the field. Although first they do have to try and get about 100 people off the field who are all having a little bit of a song and a dance before this match does get underway. That man is absolutely loving it. He's got almost that same hair colour as Akafanda Merva. But yeah, do let me know your score prediction and also let me know your first try scorer in this game. I'm going Kutli Arinsa. When that man's in the starting lineup, tries are being scored, whether that's up against Glasgow or whether that's up against anyone in this URC competition. The stands are absolutely packed. Like I mentioned, the grand final of the URC, there is a dance going on the field. The crowd are celebrating, some big fireworks as well. They've turned it up for Loftus in this game. This is going to be a fun one. I can tell you that right now. I like Artie Savi and Peter Lakai in your prediction. Says Manny M. I said he would smash my girl if I smashed the like button, so I can't. Says Rugby there as well. But I would say that there's probably about a 85, if not 90% split in favour of the Bulls in the stands for the attendance here. And Bulls by 5, Eldrick Lowe to score first. A few smoke shows floating around Loftus as usual. Rinsa for man of the match, there's Herman. Although we do have to wonder, will he be a little bit hesitant taking the big contact here after coming from a concussion? That is my one slight concern for that man. And Cole Stain says Ilmar. And there as well. I should mention we're only 15 minutes away as well, ladies and gentlemen, from another match that is going to be taking place in the near future, and that is the Barbarians taking on Fiji. Now, we would have loved to cover that game. Sadly, does overlap with this one, though, that we are only able to cover the one. And the Bulls have home field advantage and altitude. They must take it, says Stefano Arinsa. First to score, agree, says Frederick. And there, Bakias Bota putting the trophy on the stand. We are almost ready to go for this matchup. I think the other game are going to be epic in the outer fields. The boys have been there watching the Wales game, so the boys will be on fire. Says Graham, I thought Aronson had an orbital bone fracture. Says Hanger. I actually thought he did too, but they've said that he's back. And I don't know how he is back. I thought that it was a concussion as well. The vibe in Pretoria is electric. Whether you're a Bulls fan or not, you can't help join the party. Killer Cup 2 is mentioned. Think Fiji has too many outs, but Barbarian should win by maybe 7. Yeah, I'd go along the same lines. I just feel like Fiji are missing too many of their big internationals. And come on, the Bulls, you are playing at altitude, says Jason. And I mentioned about it, their last game up against Munster for the Bulls when they were playing at altitude. The thing that hurt them the most was the fact that they dropped the ball so much, the Bulls, mainly off the kickoffs. So that stopped them from being able to find that really good momentum throughout that contest. Hamish at the end of every game. From now on, can you please give your fan of the match the biggest smoke show that the camera points out in the stands? I honestly don't pay enough attention to the crowd, sadly. Buckius looks like he's put on a few kicks. I won't tell him that though, says LB. But now in the tunnel, Kyle Steyn has got his game face on. Ruanokia will be leading out the Bulls. They come in as favourites here, the VODACOM Bulls, but can Glasgow pull off the massive upset? And from KZN, Bulls are not our best provincial side, but I support them. My brother says world champs twice. And there as well. The crowd have certainly turned up for this game. Scottish girls versus South African girls. Who wins? In like a fight or just in general rugby? A big smile on the face of Kyle Steyn. In fact, that was a bigger smile than I think I've ever seen from that man throughout a season. Smiling from ear to ear, knowing that this is the big opportunity for Glasgow to really make their mark on the URC competition. I'm surprised Glasgow is in a final. Well done to them. Decided, although they've had the same amount of wins as the Bulls throughout the regular season, same amount of wins as Leinster and Munster, all the top sides having 13 wins in the regular season. If it wasn't for one defeat near the end, Glasgow could have had the home final heading into this match. A strong Bulls is always a good sign for the box, says LB, but Andrea Piardi is the referee in charge of this contest. Now, I should mention, compared to that South Africa versus Wales game, this one is going to be played under the old laws, which does mean the TMO will not be as heavily involved, or at least we hope he won't be, because his involvement in that last contest was absolutely insane. But now the countdown is on, ladies and gentlemen, and we are now underway. The Bulls kicking off from left to right. And Hussein kicks it down towards the 22. Nicely taken by Josh Mackay, the man out of anyone on the field who has beaten the most defenders throughout this URC season. Bulls don't have the breath, or have to breathe, so altitude is no problem, says Herman. And let's go the Bulls. Pretoria is absolutely 100% on fire tonight, says Jacqueline, and I hope the Bulls call a scrum from the mark. It's a send-off for the box, says LB. Nicely ripped away, although it was with the knee on the ground. So the early penalty goes against Jack Dempsey. To be fair, I haven't followed URC much this year, says Cited. And there as well, but not releasing. Penalty goes against Jack Dempsey, and they have taken on the early shot. Johan Hussein, he's been great with the kicking tee throughout this season, as well as Chris Smith, actually both kickers for the Bulls, doing incredibly well. Glasgow just have to force or create forced errors, then take the points, but the Bulls under pressure, says Manny M. So yeah, the knee was down and then it was ripped away by Jack Dempsey. So it is a clear penalty against Dempsey there. Now Hussein, like I mentioned, fantastic kicking throughout this season. Is that going to continue in this match? Or do the nerves start to get to him just a little bit with the fact that this is in fact the URC final? Last time the Bulls were in the final with the URC, it was 2 years ago in the inaugural season of the competition. Hussein has got that one over. He has a little fist pump about it as well, Johan Hussein, but that is going to make the score after 2 minutes. 3-0 for the home side. Scottish men are very tough, says Manny M. That is a great kick from Johan Hussein. It gives them the early lead, really punishing Glasgow for their early ill-discipline, but kicked off long, nicely taken by Elric Lowe. The most running meters for the Bulls throughout this URC season. If Ferguson thought about going into the breakdown and trying to get the turnover, Papier has been told to use it. Now, kicking it up by Scotland, have never been in the All Blacks, and they never will, says Manny M. I don't know about never will. Only takes one good game. Tom Jordan going across there to Jack Dempsey. Moves up to 35 metres out. Gerhard Stenecham went for the turnover, wasn't able to get it. Daj now Tuipalotu in behind. Tom Jordan driven backwards by the returning Kurtli Arinsa. Which rugby player has the hottest wife or girlfriend? Once again, I honestly don't know. I haven't really paid much attention to the wives or girlfriends of rugby players. Jan Hussin. Now, nice though tackle made by Johnny Matthews. Bros Papier goes across to Gerhard Stenecham. They're currently sitting around 30 metres out from their own line here. Bros Papier to put this ball up high. I think this will be a kicking orientated game. Final time, sure to be close. Oh, that was almost a really awkward landing for Josh Mackay, but luckily did fall all right. The advantage is in favour of the Glasgow Warriors. Sione Tuipalotu, they will go back for the original penalty. And she'll be close, I reckon. Hamish and go the Bulls, says Vernon. Come on the Bulls. Or someone, sorry, come on Glasgow. Put some Scottish iron into it. You can do it. Says Manny M. It's going to be on the halfway line. The penalty for Glasgow. This may be a little bit further out than they want to take for their first kick. And the saying is something like the Scottish soul is so dark, you never see a ray of sunshine. I'm probably way off, but it's something like that. Says Jacqueline. Kicking this one towards the touchline. It will be Tom Jordan. This is the same mentality that Glasgow have used throughout the whole season. They have the mentality of, if we feel like we can get within your 22 and try and go for a rolling ball, we will. And I feel like this game's going to be no different. Even though, of course, it's finals rugby and you need to take the easy threes when they're available, that one wouldn't have been the easiest kick of the day for Tom Jordan. But who knows? Maybe it could have been his only kick, depending on how this goes. Some iron brew. And not to be a bother, but can you call out field positions as the action continues? Cheers, mate. Oh, there was a hesitancy there for Johnny Matthews. They're 22 metres out from their line now, the Bulls. And they have got themselves the free kick. So more than likely they will just boot this one downfield. And Glasgow are going to need Thor and both his hammers paws to win this game, says Rugby. And Jackie, that is correct, says Werner. And Coach Jake White is an ex-Bok coach. And good old Sam White, sure missed the big fella. The Goats, yeah, he's going to be playing in only 8 minutes' time in the next contest. In fact, they've actually, was that a free kick or was that a penalty for that one? I think it was a free kick. So it is now going to be, oh, Johnny Matthews not happy, but it is a line-out throw here for Glasgow. Scottish are not as tough as South African, says Luke. I think rugby has taught us that yes, being tough helps, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be the toughness that wins this game. I think that it's definitely going to be how the backlines perform. They always say the forwards win the game, the backs determine how much. And I feel like this Bulls forward pack, they're very good at their fundamentals, but the backline has to be lit on fire. That is the penalty to Glasgow. And Kurtli Arinsa, he's going to be a handy player in this match. Live for South Africans, says Mario there. And whatever the score at the end, rugby wins. God, I miss it. Or missed it. Says Sighted. But now, Tom Jordan, once again, will be kicking this one towards the touchline. I named my son after Jake White when he won us the 2007 World Cup. And we have got their Bulls vs Glasgow URC 2020 Final Live. Says Mario. And there as well. The next word, of course, commentary. After that one. Now, this is going to be the line-out throw here for Johnny Matthews. Nicely taken. Now at the front of the rolling ball, Scott Cummings, they lose a bit of ground, so they go across their back line. Sione Tuipalotu, sitting 22 metres out here now. Rory Daj, good attack and run. Now Tom Jordan sold the big dummy. He slips over, though, in the process, though, so doesn't get the metres that he was after. Ruanoki are looking for the turnover. In the breakdown, can't quite get his hands on a nice run from Scott Cummins. 7 minutes in already for this contest. Johnny Matthews, 14 tries in this season. Can he make it 15? Let's see how much of a Barbarians game I can stay up for. Says no, Mam now Sione Tuipalotu. Another tackle on him by Marco van Staden. They didn't have the best performance last week up against Leinster. That's a good shot from Ruan Nokia, enforcing that early physicality. But now big run forward from Matt Fagerson. Tackled by Ambrose Papi up to 10 phases in a row here. And this is the best way to counter altitude, is to be the team on attack rather than the side on defence. Josh Mackay looking to go through. Another good tackle made by Ruan Vermaak. Oh, well, I remember to like, says Jacqueline there. And they can be so glad they've got Hussein and not money. Says, was that from Bruce? And the Bulls seem to be leaking penalties, hopefully. Only finals jitters. That's going to be taken nicely in behind by Kutli Arinsa, actually opting to go for the option of kicking him behind there for Glasgow rather than trying to run that ball. And I think that was a mistake. They had them on the back foot. They were tiring them out a little bit. So that perhaps should have been a sign that they should have kept on going with phase after phase. South Africans not as tough as New Zealanders, Luke. No, I disagree with that. I mean, have you seen some of the South Africans? And good thing I'm a South African, says Luke. And the fittest who breathes the best, says Ben. And there as well. But it looks like Johan Goosen already has a little bit of an injury. Yeah, I think it might have just been maybe a poke in the eye or something. Just checking it. What do you think of Jack Crowley getting URC Player of the Year, says Rugby? I feel like it's relatively deserved. Like, of course, there's a lot of guys who are up there, but Crowley's had a really good season for Munster. And yes, like, no matter who they selected for Player of the Season, there were going to be people who were not happy about it. So, you know, it's one of those ones, like, he's had a very good season, so you can't really deny him at least being in the top 5, you know, but, you know, I know there'll be a few people who felt like other men could have got the nod there. Okay, down here, Michael. There's a Michael Cork there. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you're excited for this match. Do let me know who you think will be the first try scorer in this game, Michael, with the return of Kutli Arinsa in this match, of course. And go the Bulls. We dreaded you in the 80s, but the shark bites in the 90s seem to bring down to earth. Do you think the Bulls bench can make the impact while under pressure? I think that they've got some great players. Aka van der Merwe in particular knows how to score tries. Johnny Matthews, that was almost lost there by Glasgow, but it has been knocked backwards. So still on the side of the Glasgow Warriors here. They've had just a little bit more of the possession throughout the last 5 minutes or so. Xander Fagerson running straight at Elric Lowe, who has made the most tackles for the Bulls in the URC. Now, Kutli Arinsa, great take under the high ball. Lucky dreaming of the All Blacks smashing the box in the 2027 World Cup final. And also we got there, thanks for what? Telling chat to hit the like and sub. Says a bystander. Wait, thanks. Where was it? Thanks, bystander. Yeah, she's saying thank you, I think, for telling them to hit that like button. Word speak, but numbers scream. Look at the numbers of the World Cup wins. That's going to be a knock-on coming there from David Creel. In fact, that one has gone into touch as well, I believe. Right, they're going to go for the scrum here, though. This is one of those games. I was going to say this is a weird game, but it is in a way because both of these sides' defence throughout the season has been extremely strong. Glasgow, they've been tackling at over 90% throughout the whole season, whereas I believe the Bulls are tackling at 86% throughout the season. Bulls weak link is Papier. Says LB, the pack weight's 886 kgs for Glasgow compared to the 902 kgs that the Bulls are going to be working with here. So plenty of weight coming forward for these two sides when it comes to those scrums. What we're quickly going to do is we are going to go like this and like that as well. There we go. We're getting fancy. We got the Barbarians game up on the same screen. So we will keep you updated with what is happening in that one. Why haven't you switched the scoreboard to be across the bottom of the screen like I told you? What's the hold up? This one's much easier. To get a scoreboard through the editing software that I use to go up down the bottom just doesn't really work because they don't have the overlay abilities. You can only have still overlays rather than the moving ones. But we're working on it. You know, maybe one day we'll switch it up a little bit. But also my green screen's not wide enough for me to be able to have me as the whole screen. And by 2027, Jacqueline, it will be 4 World Cups each. And the best Bulls squad was in Super 14. Victor Matfield, Brian Abana, Morne Stain, Bucky Esbota, etc. Yeah, that's Quite a formidable team. That is a formidable scrum there from the Bulls as they force Glasgow backwards. And that is going to be now the penalty going the way of the Bulls. And from the mover for the first try. Oh, okay, so you're saying a second half try. Hamish, when you would do a video for your All Blacks team selection for the squad announcement Monday, says Albert, it came out 2 days ago. Maybe 3 days ago, in fact. But it's been out for a few days. We're going to be doing another updated one after that Super Rugby final. There's a few things that I would like to tweak a little bit. But yeah, the video is out on the channel. Looks like the Bulls are going to be kicking this one towards the corner. Now, the distance probably wouldn't have been a problem for Johan Hussen, the way that he has been striking the ball lately. But at the same time, you don't really want to take that risk of missing one. Box have 3 world-class front rows now. Look at the Bulls scrum. Victor Matfield was great in the 2007 World Cup final versus England. Says Manny M. Now backline movement happening for the Bulls. Sergio Peterson goes through, puts the grubber in behind, and Kyle Steyn has no option but to run that ball into touch. Are we only playing internationally since 1994? Look at the numbers again. Says Jacqueline. And once upon a time, Lisa Whānau Nuku Surf. The Blues Waves and won 2022-23. Hamish, true story. Bulk have too much depth and quality for Ireland to compete with. Says Rugby in there as well. That man has painted himself completely blue, so that is huge amounts of commitment there, that is for sure. Now line out throw for Johan Hussen. Thanks for the streaming, you must be shattered, says Michael. We've been up for a little while, yeah, but we're doing all right. Oh, penalty advantage in the air. Tackle has been made, so now Kutli Arnson, they're 10 metres out from the line here again for the Bulls. You demand, what's that mean? It means you are the man. Pretty much. But now, 5 metres out. Cameron Hanekom, if anyone's got a great chance of scoring this close to the line, it would be that man. And Bros Vapia now going back across to Johan Hrubela. And also the Spurs will fit in nicely at Loftus. And let's go Glasgow, says Connor. And Kiwis rule, says Trajan. Now Bros Vapia going off to Ruan Nokia now. I got 2.7k on the Bulls to win, says Rumi. You must be confident then, I would assume. Now another advantage, and they will go back for the penalty now. Just too many advantages mounting in a row there. But yeah, not quite the way they would have liked it to go. I'm watching the Barbarians match this Connor, so am I. I've got it on the second screen, currently Fiji on attack, and they weren't too far away from scoring. In the early stages of that match, he had assumed his gender. And yeah, it's running it straight. And also Warriors defence is holding up the Bulls barrage. Says Sidon. And yeah, like I said, like 91% throughout the season in terms of those tackling numbers. Like those type of numbers change games. And that's exactly what they have been able to do here. Now that one's going to be thrown in. He held on to at the moment for the Barbarians. It's going to be kicked downfield. Oh, sorry. I was watching the wrong game. I was commentating the Barbarians game there, but Johan Hussen has got the 3 points over, and that is going to make the score now 6 points to 0 in favour of the Bulls. That is my bad. I was watching the Fijian game, and then all of a sudden my brain started commentating that one. Any decent players playing for the Barbarians? They've got Gail Fiku and Varumi Vakatava. In the midfield, Che Thiaki and Lester Whainanuku, Sam Whitelock. They have got, who else have they got? And it's Kyle Sinclair in the front row. And yeah, some pretty handy players overall. Danny Keir at 9. And Focus Boss says Blues Nate. Nicely taken by Elric Lowe. And Classic Hamish commentating on the wrong game says cool story, bro. And now Ambrose Vapia rolling this ball back again. 2027, the world would have gone through the apocalyptic event, and me and Jacqueline would have to repopulate the earth. And yeah, absolutely, says Jacqueline. A drop ball from Eldrick Lowe, the Barbarians versus the Barbarians. Just kidding. Says Navigator there. And now, Glasgow Warriors. They are going to have an opportunity to create another attacking play here. I think that they will prefer Manny M commentating than me, says Trajan. And Hamish 6-0 says Birdie V. It certainly is. The scoreboard's a little bit behind, although it's not behind on the score in terms of the time, I should say, rather than the score. Is the Irish players playing for the Barbarians? Not a huge amount. Maybe one if you're lucky, but I can't think of who it is off the top of my head, so probably not in that game. Now, ball was going to be fed in by George Horn, but has collapsed on the far side. I can't comment, Trajan. Says Manny M. Saying a little bit of movement there at scrum time, a little bit too much. I think it went from 47.7 to 47.8k today. Says, cool story, bro. It's just pretty awesome. Like, at the end of the day, as you guys know, whether we got a few people watching or a lot of people watching, we do cover these games in the weekends. We are getting closer to 50,000, and we have actually got next weekend. It's a little bit quieter, but we're doing the Māori All Blacks versus Japan XV, as well as the Under-20s Championship that will be taking place. Why can't we have a beautiful female commentator instead of Hamish on this channel? Because I can't afford one, is probably the easiest answer. Glasgow now feeding in their scrum. They've been told to use it. Horn goes across to Sione Tui Palotu. And they get on the board for the first time of this final time. Jordan skip pass out to Josh Mackay. Gets through one tackle, gets it away to Kyle Stain. Keeps himself in the field of play, busting through 2 tackles till Elric Lowe manages to stop him. South Africans love me, says Trajan. And who won the Super Rugby? In the end, the Blues won it comfortably, winning it by about 30 points in the final. I love your rolling of yours. Says Big B, thank you very much. Oh, that's a loose ball, and Bros Papier jumps onto that one. And it's going to be a foot race in behind. Picked up by Papier. Was he taken out? Maybe. Was that slap backwards? Maybe. I think it's going to be a knock-on against the Bulls. Hamish has an idea. Find a love interest and co-commentate. Says bystander. Could be an idea. She'd have to be just as crazy about the rugby as myself, though. Or else it would be interesting. I'm just winding up. Hamish says rugby. You should know me by now. Says rugby there. I'm a fan of Trajan and I'm a Springbok fanatic. Yeah, the loose ball. And Bros Papier able to pick it up and then try to get that pass away and then just knocking it on there from Bros Papier. They made a lot of meters in the process there, the Bulls. Time is still off, still only 3-0. Yeah, it isn't like to change, is it? Oh, boom. Just gone up to 20. I'm moving my mouse a little bit, and that seemed to help a little bit more. And Bros Papier is 85th ranked in the top 100 with an overall rating of 88.1. There you go. There's some statistics. This is a boring game, says rugby. I wouldn't call it boring. It's just going to be a low-scoring one, possibly, because of the strength of both defences. Great if she would do the KFC runs for you while you're doing the commentary. Oh, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? But then that's the thing. I feel bad because KFC, the nearest KFC is 30 minutes away. So she would have to travel for 30 minutes and then travel for 30 minutes back to bring me food. And that just doesn't sound like the best job for her. You know? I feel like after the live stream, we both go get it. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And come on, Glasgow, get a converted try. Barbarian slowly improving field position, says Jonathan Manson. Yeah, I've seen like Fiji's had a lot of the territory in the early stages, but the Barbars now starting to march their way up the field. We're 19 minutes into this contest as well, I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, and still yet to see a try in this URC final. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the way that it does stay. One moment, we all go like this and like that. You're a gentleman, says Angarat. Do you live in the middle of nowhere? Kind of. Well, not completely the middle of nowhere, but just nowhere, if that makes sense. Like, we don't have a lot around us in terms of fast food or anything along those lines. It's just quiet, you know, but it's nice. Nothing wrong with a quiet town. Well, we all go like that and like that. There we go. I would love for the Bulls to pull this through, says Johnny. I always try some Chinese food. I do enjoy me some Chinese food every once in a while. Just popping in, South Africa doing all the thingies today. Hire an assistant, call them Staffler, and shout, go get my KFC, I'm hungry, says Rugby. And also we've got the, it depends on the fun you're having. Like people said the Phantom Menace sucked. But I thought it was great because I lost my virginity before I saw it. Says, cool story, bro. You're multitasking 2 games, says Navigator. We certainly are. And Fiji are looking pretty strong in their game up against the Barbars. But the Bulls are in position now, ladies and gents. Mbroas Papia going across to Eldrick Lowe. Still no tries have been scored throughout this contest. And Mbroas Papia going across again there to Wilco Lowe. Back across to the right-hand side. Where are you in New Zealand, says Ben Kennedy. I am in the South Island, halfway in between Christchurch and Dunedin's probably the easiest way of saying it. Most people don't know the more specifics of where I say I'm from. They're like, where's that? So the easiest way is between Christchurch and Dunedin. But Papia now with the possession goes across. Chance here for Kutli Arinsa. Doesn't get through though. Once again, that Glasgow defence has been holding up, but the penalty does go the way of the Bulls now. This could be another 3 if they want it. And in finals rugby, you should take the 3s any opportunity that you can get. We've seen Glasgow turn down a couple 3s already. And tell you what, now we're going to see the Bulls turn down 3. They are going for the corner with Johan Husson. He lived experience always crack me up, says Denzel. Just in through the side from Matt Fagerson there. So you're leaving Dunedin's church. How could they see you in the middle of the cold and bad cold, says LV. Yeah, like currently it's 4 degrees Celsius, which isn't that bad. It could have been worse. But now, going for the rolling maul here, 10 metres out, and that is another penalty. Oh, bit of push and shove there. Starting to kick off there for Matt Fagerson and Marco Fun starting somewhere in Otago. Says Navigator, a little bit further north. Oh. People in the crowd fired up as well. They are not happy with the push and shove that is happening. But that is because there are tensions out there on the field. Glasgow haven't been able to get the momentum in their favour. Like they've said, so much at stake. The first ever title for either of these 2 sides. The Bulls were through to the final in the first ever URC competition. And ref seems reasonable so far. Yeah, it's a much much better referee game than we have seen in the Springboks game, I should say. Altitude 1350, it matters. Says bystander. A yellow card ref. Okay, Kyle Stone actually just telling the referee about it. In the breakdown beforehand, he felt like there was a player rolling. I bumped into Hamish in a bar the other day. He was drunk bragging to a girl about how he's rich off YouTube commission. Well, I can tell you right now that is a lie. Because 1, we don't go to bar. 2, we don't talk to girls. And 3, we're not rich off YouTube commission because we don't make much money off of YouTube. And as you guys know, all the money goes back into the channel anyway. So I make nothing off YouTube. So I don't think that would pick up girls in the bar. We in South Africa love rugby. Just can't afford to watch a disgrace. Said world champs twice now. Rolling maul here for the Bulls once again. Johan Hrubala doesn't get the meters that he's after. The ref in the box game was something else. Also far too much TMO interference. I agree. The TMO was too heavily involved in that contest. Now, Mbroas Papia goes short side. Oh, Honeycomb was half an inch from scoring there. If not, maybe less. But Mbroas Papia now going short. That's close as well. The referee wants to check it. Box the best. Hamish was wearing a set on the bar too. I forgot to mention. Says rugby there. I love rugby, not you rugby. Says bystander. They want to check this one to see if there is a grounding for the big man Wilco Lowe. Now, I can tell you right now, not many people were backing him to score the first try in this contest. He doesn't look confident. Although he's given the ball to Johan Husson, who was the TMO in the box game. I'll be honest, for the amount that the guy talked, I didn't actually learn who the TMO was in that game. I know that it was Bisbee was the referee in charge. But yeah, it was just a lot of interference from referee and TMO in that game. Whitelock looks old, so slow compared to his just last year. Well, that's the thing. He is getting older. Like he was one of those players that, as much as people wanted to admit that he was coming into some peak form, like, it was only a matter of time till the body started giving way again. And that is the unfortunate nature for the older players. Like, he is going to be probably playing with some sort of injury as well, you know, whether the knees aren't quite working like they used to or anything along those lines. I think some schmuck from Scotland. And they said South Africa Rugby lost 6 million. Perhaps they could make some cash with reasonable sports channels fees. I agree. Right, they want clear evidence of the ball being grounded. He's going to be short there, will go low. Then from there, he has to try and crawl forward. Hamish, you're wearing black. Does that mean you're supporting that team? Says Denzel, which team you talking? What else have I got on? Have I got any other colours? No, it's all just black, pretty much. They're just checking this again. TMO taking their time to review this one. Now, in the final, I can understand the TMO taking so much time. Okay. The South African TMO, is it? It said no clear double movement here. Look close to a double movement. Okay, Seven's holding the ball up. This is going to be no try for the Bulls. Wearing 2 tracksuit pants. And Cape, I reckon it will be 4. All right, it's going to be no try. But they will go back for the original advantage, I believe. Oh, no, it's goal line dropout. My apologies. Smidge of love your way. And Glasgow has entered the Bulls 22. Yet they have early on in the match. But other than that, not really a huge amount of visits coming here for the side, which I'm sure they will be, like I mentioned earlier on, they'll be disappointed about, because this is the type of game that could have been cut open and they could have had a huge amount of opportunities if they had just had that little bit more territory, or maybe got a try early to give them some momentum. Johan Grobbelaar now. Oh, the ball was almost stripped out of his hands, and Broos Papier goes back across to Gerhard Stenkamp. They wanted the turnover. They weren't able to get it. Johan Goosen goes across to David Krill. Shut down early there. Ambroise Papier going to the left-hand side. And behind Wilco Low goes to Goosen. Now Foster going with the kick in behind. Trying to find Kutli Arnse. Beautifully taken at the back from Tom Jordan. But the penalty goes the way of the Bulls for the turnover. I should mention the Barbarians have just scored themselves a try in the match. I think it's Zach Mercer who was able to score it. 24 minutes in, and another penalty goes the way of the Bulls. They are kicking for the corner again now. No need to be talking up Glasgow now, says Hangarat. And Bulls are piling the pressure, says Cited. So this one will be about 10 metres out from the line now. In fact, maybe even a little bit closer, but Sergio Pedersen and over the ball. Win predictor at the moment, 79% in favour of the Bulls. 19% for Glasgow and 2% think it's going to be a draw. But of course, this game cannot be a draw, I don't believe. I think it would go to extra time. This is the worst final in a while. Says Rugby, but big run forward now from Mako van Staden. He gets back up. Did he really place that ball? I don't know if he did. And that's going to be a try there for the Bulls. Are they going to look at it? Why is the colour for this game so weird? I think it's to do with the lighting, maybe. It's that middle stage of... And also they keep on letting off fireworks, so the smoke, I think, is affecting it a little bit at the moment. If Glasgow just get 3 points before halftime. But yeah, the time is off. They are going to go with the TMO here to check whether or not this was double movement for Mako van Staden. Oh, Ruanokia is getting called over, actually. This might be for a bit of push and shove that is taking place. Okay, referee's pretty much said, I know it's a final, but you don't need to escalate everything like we're doing at the moment, boys. Fun fact, the money we pay for 12 months to DSTV is the same you'll pay for a ticket to South Africa. Come on, mate, make a plan, says Herman. And there as well. We should think West Indies can win T20 World Cup, says Manny M. It's a possibility. You know, they're looking good for it. And the good news is it is the home advantage as well for them. But we are going to see here the replay. I just want to make sure this wasn't double movement from Mako van Staden. So he was tackled there. Then he wasn't held, so he gets back up. He did place, but didn't release the ball. So I assume they ruled that as him not being held. 11-0 to the Bulls. And now 13-0 in their favour as there is another try converted. Or first try converted, but I was going to say another try converted for the season for the Bulls. Barbarians winning 5-0 against BG. They certainly are. A bit of argy-bargy. And the final is the one game you have, or you can have a poor performance and it means nothing. If you win, no one will ever care. Job done for all time. Says, cool story, bro. Yeah, like, that's the thing. The history books don't say how a side won. It just says that they won. So, yeah, it's one of those ones. As long as they get it slightly right, you know, and you don't have an absolutely awful showing, like, people will know you, of course, as the champions. And now Josh Mackay gets through the defence. Oh, my. He's just broken through about 3 defenders. Now, George Horn back across to Tom Jordan, Sione Tuipalotu. We've got to remember Munster took it to Glasgow early on. No announcing the score in the chat, please, due to the delay. Says Navigator. And we are being choked with soccer on TV in South Africa, but nowhere rugby, says Marthinus. What happened to referee competence? Says Stefan, and the ref must be anti-Scottish. Marco tackled, but palmed to field. Clean in my book, says bystander. Yeah, the only thing that I had the critique of there was the fact that normally, you know, you do have to have that clear release rather than just placing the ball down and then getting back up and going again. So I think the reason that it was fine was because he wasn't held initially, I think is the big difference. The Bulls have lost only one of their 12 United Rugby Championship games at Loftus Versfeld, or at least their last 12 anyway. The Champions Cup final was a good game. This is subpar, says Rugby. I'm also watching Hamish scoreboard, says Denzel. Yeah, currently 13-0 in favour of the Bulls. It's a loose ball. It's going to be knocked on by Glasgow again here. A few too many handling errors early in this final. Already 28 minutes in, but Ambrose Papier going back across. And it's not over if Glasgow only get a few points and then come back strong in the second half. Says Maniem. Yeah, I think if there was one more try scored for the Bulls here, it might be closer to being over. But they always say however many points are scored in the first half, the opposition can score the same in the second, if not more. But Kyle Stain now tackled on the halfway line. Needs something to liven things up, says Rabiot. A little bit of a slip there for Tom Jordan. He gets back up to his feet. Hands down from Gerhard Stenkamp. Can't get the turnover. George Horn once again going for the box kick. Taken at the back by Johan Hussen. Tackled by the big man Scott Cummings. Now Hanekom. They've done well to shut him out of this game. So far, Ambrose Papier having to jump on the ball. Did Glasgow look like scoring? They had some good early moments. Yes, South African viewers will see score 30 seconds earlier than us. When Australia says Navigator Island. Chat, please be respectful. There will be delays of the scoreline. Respect the chat. Says a bystander. Now again, it's going to be there for Ambrose Papier. And taken back into the 22, so not able to find touch on the full here for Johan Hussen. So instead just decides to put boot to ball straight down the middle of the field. Now Glasgow running this one back. It's going to be Tom Jordan. Can't find the gap, and he's wrestled down by David Creel. Horn across to Sione Tuipalotu. They can run from Dempsey. They need a try, and they need it before the end of the first half if they want a really good chance of going on to win this game up against the Bulls. They cannot allow the Loftus crowd to come into it late and help the Bulls over the line. The Barbarians met up last Monday. They trained for an hour on Thursday. They've been drinking the rest of the week. Says Eric there. And I'm in Australia. My scores get updated from Sportsbet. Says Rumi. Now that one's going to be kicked high. Going up for the ball. Kyle Stain misreads it completely. And Johan Hussen is able to take it cleanly. Now Sergio Pedersen. The possession Bulls are a good second half team. Says Luke. The Bulls are usually a second half team. Let's see how it develops. Another penalty goes the way of the Bulls here. Mentioned it is 5-5 at the moment in the game between Fiji and the Barbarians. Another penalty. Just trying to work out who it is who actually scored in the Fijian game. Trying to see the number, but I can't quite work it out. It might have been a Peli Momo who was able to get the try. No, maybe not. I need to see the number again. He's not going to face away. Oh, no, it is a Peli Momo, I believe, in terms of that number. Number 14. What is the position stat at the moment, please? Hamish says, Lilia, at the moment, in terms of the position stats in this contest, it is currently sitting. It is loading, in fact. One moment. Stats position at the moment is 53% in favour of the Bulls in this first half. Come on, Glasgow, get some points on the board, says Manny M. Now going to be throwing this ball in here. Johan Grubler does do it nicely. And Bros Papia goes back across to Johan Goosen. Short ball to David Kriel. Papier looping around play. Short ball tries it and it's stolen by Glasgow. Now chance out wide. Concilieri breaks through one tackle. Steps almost through another, but he gets his offload on the outside to Jack Dempsey. But Glasgow have gone from almost conceding to almost scoring just in a matter of moments. Passing out wide now. They have got the numbers there if they can use them. Ball on the outside. Cole Stein goes through two tackles and just short 3 meters out, and he's knocked the ball on. And it's claimed by Mako Van Staden. That could have been the game-changing try there for Glasgow, but just at the last moment, they get it wrong. If Glasgow score 2 to converted tries, score will be 14 points to 13. And also we have got the 13-0 not looking good for Glasgow, says Manny M. And 7 penalties for Glasgow versus 2, was it? So at the moment, in terms of the penalty stat, 7-2 at the moment. But the advantage is over. It's kicked into touch. And that is now going to be the line out here for Glasgow. On a podcast, Zach Mercer said he's looking forward to getting down with Whitelock, the dark places he chuckled. Says Eric. Intra mile winner was a win. Says hanger at there. Great run forward there from Concilieri off the turnover. I'm telling you, man, Papia is peeing me off. Says LB, if it remains 13-0 at halftime, then I would predict a Bulls win. Says Manny M. But yeah, Glasgow have looked a lot more likely to score throughout the last maybe 10 or so minutes. Now that one's going to be overthrown beautifully, taken there by Tom Jordan, who had a brilliant vertical leap on him when he went for that ball. Glasgow now getting that little bit closer, 10 metres out from the try line. George Horn going across to Richie Gray. Glasgow coming back into it. It's not a Puppy is trying to be the solution to a problem that doesn't exist. So here's Hangarat. And the Bulls win the penalty again. And 14-13 was the score halftime between South Africa and Wales, just saying. That is another great turnover won by the Bulls forwards. And that is Johan Grubler this time. He did manage to get the penalty, at least get 3 points, Glasgow. Says Manny M. And just the one try coming in this final so far for these sides. Looks like Fiji have actually scored themselves another try here. They're on fire at the moment. The flying Fijians. Yeah, the crowd are absolutely loving it. Drink some water, Hamish. You always forget. Says Hangarat. Yeah, the bottle's still actually completely full. Guys, my first time catching rugby. What's going on? At the moment, good lead for the Bulls. They've scored one try. Glasgow not out of this game yet, but they definitely need to be the next team to score. Loftus is sold out tonight. There is no way the Bulls will not win tonight. Sorry, guys, but I'm a shark, but it has to be said. Says Jacqueline there. Yeah, you'd think that it should be confirmed, right? But you never know. Glasgow are a great side in terms of coming back from being an underdog. in a contest. So I wouldn't completely count them out. Any bagpipes playing? Not that I can hear, although that is because the music at the ground is extremely loud. And Fiji sitting 14-5 after 27 minutes. Now almost stolen there. In fact, it was knocked on by the Bulls. And Glasgow got the position back at line out time. Xander Fagerson, tackled by Elric Lowe. He's definitely getting up there in terms of the leading tackler and maybe even the whole of the URC competition, not just for the Bulls. George Horn again going for that kick up high. Hasn't really got them right throughout the day yet. Now Sergio Pedersen getting wrestled towards the touchline. Bulls taking the win, says Robbie. And there as well. Ruan Vermaak. Yes, they are, but the Bulls have Pretoria behind them, and that truly makes a difference. Says Jacqueline, it's going to be taken back. Devin Williams, he's hardly had the ball, and look at him go. He's gone straight through a gap, finds huge space to work with, passes it across to Kutli Arinsa, who tried to flick, and again, the Bulls give up possession with a silly play when they're going for that counter-attack, and now the counter-attack is going to be there for Sione Tuipulotu in Glasgow. I was really impressed with the Flying Fijians at the Rugby World Cup 2023. They played with a lot of heart. Go Fiji, says Lilia there. Yeah, a lot of people, they love watching the Fijians playing, which is why I find it so dumb that they've got the Barbarians game on at the exact same time as a URC final. It just doesn't make sense to me. Surely they could have had the game tomorrow, or they could have changed something to allow them to play at a different time. Here comes Kyle Steyn running back at Sergio Pedersen, who has made the tackle this time. Defense too good for the Bulls. So here's Rugby. Oh, great little chip in behind, but it's going to be knocked on. Yeah, tackle success at the moment, though, for the Bulls is 79% throughout this game compared to the 92% of the Glasgow Warriors. Thank you for your commentary. Go the Bulls. Glasgow come back unless altitude slows them down, says Goldberg. Can't see Glasgow taking it. Warriors need to dig deep in their sporans to get back on terms. Well, we all go like this. We'll go like that as well. There we go. Yeah, it's just a little error in the counter-attack from Kutli Arinsa. It's going to be a big win for the Bulls. Just a little knock-on from Tom Jordan as he looked to regather. I am proudly South African, but was rooting for Fiji to beat all their challenges in the Rugby World Cup 2023. Handling errors, 4 against Glasgow, 3 against the Bulls in this matchup. Glasgow players, hands on hips, says Salah. In there as well. 3 minutes left in this first half. Robbie Dean's never aged some fine wine, says Blues Nate. And yeah, this first half has been played at a frantic pace. And that is going to wear on these two sides as we get further through this match. I know you mentioned about Glasgow players with their hands on the hips, but I've seen some pretty tired-looking Bulls players here as well. Of course, they are used to playing at the altitude, but, you got that adrenaline to deal with as well in a big final like this. Yes, against been playing in South Africa now, I understand better, says Glenn Woods. Pass on the outside to Kutli Arinsa, but they're going back. No advantage. What is the percentage for the Bulls in the first half? At the moment, we are sitting, the percentage is 50-50 according to the URC website, so I'm not sure whether or not that is completely correct. And always have the man running close on the left and the right shoulder of the ball carrier. No look pop-ups will be lethal, says bystander. That was not Ford. It was not, no. I think they're going back for the original penalty. That one. Would Jamie Joseph make a good All Blacks coach after Razor has gone? Well, we've got to work out whether or not Razor's going first, don't we? And depending on when that is will depend on who the replacement could be. And the Bomb Sky will come on in the second half and bury Glasgow. Although, interestingly enough, 5-3 split for the Bulls in this game compared to the 6-2 of Glasgow. So the Glasgow side actually have got the forwards advantage off the bench in terms of the numbers. So, it's just a classic 5-3 for the Bulls in this contest. The Barbarians have just scored. That was Johnny May. Does cross the try line. England looked okay against Japan earlier. Says Glenn Woods. Ball's going to be thrown in by Johan Rovela. Bulls 15 is so fast he should play wing. He normally is a winger. Devin Williams, but due to the injury of Billy LaRue, he had to take on the 15 jersey. Breaking away there. The penalty does go the way of the Bulls for making a new rolling maul. Mum found the game on her phone. Curtly looking good, Says, good story, bro. Yeah, I should mention, I know that this is weird for me to say because at the end of the day, this is going to probably lose us some viewers, but the game is actually being shown illegally on YouTube at the moment on another YouTube channel. So I would not be offended one bit if you guys do want to go watch that one. I see that it hasn't been taken down as of yet, so yeah, if you guys want to actually watch this game live rather than just listen to me talk about it, if you want to open a new tab or if you do want to go over there, I completely understand. Because at the end of the day, if you're able to watch the rugby, I always say that you should do that as the first priority. But yeah, if that gets taken down, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. And nicely taken by the Glasgow Warriors. Now rolling forward here, Matt Fagerson almost going through now. Johnny Matthews. Guys, I know free links I won't share. Says bystander. That's a great run from Matt Fagerson. 5 meters out again from the line. I'm enjoying this game with a beautiful bottle of Pinotage. I can't say that properly, unfortunately. And what are you guys drinking? Not you, Hamish. I know you're only drinking water, and that's okay. I have the game, but I enjoy the banter in here, Hamish. Barians needed the conversion, but they missed. Now Rory Darge, only 2 meters out from the line. They have got within the... bit of push and shove there. Eldrick Lowe. Oh, no, it's Cameron Honeycomb. He's having an argument with Sione Tuipulotu. He's saying, run it at me, mate. He's still yelling at him. I don't know what's been said there between those two, but I kind of hope that that is something that we see now. Seeing Sione Tuipulotu try and crash it forward. Cameron Honeycomb, they've scored the try there, Glasgow. Maybe Honeycomb should have had his head in the game rather than his eyes on Tuipulotu. And it's going to be Scott Cummings who comes up with the first try of the contest here for the Glasgow Warriors. Right on the half-time break as well, so the perfect time to be able to score at Fergusburg. Disappointed. Thought he was a feet fly half for the ABs. Yeah, right on half-time. You can see Sione Tuipulotu giving it the big clap as well afterwards when that try was scored, just letting Honeycomb know that he messed up. Peterson is having a great game, says LB, and here we go, says Glenn. And let's go the Warriors, says Blues Nate there as well. A nice finish to the half. Yeah, gets them back in it. One mistake, like you said, cool story, bro. Only takes one to give away 7 points. Now, George Horn's kicking throughout the season has been pretty strong. Yeah, they scored, or they needed that score. Says Rugby there. Now lining up this kick, and he has got it over. So that is going to make the score 13 points to 7 at the half-time break, ladies and gentlemen. So a second half just around the corner. And they're within, like I've said, striking distance of their opposition now. I will mention once again, anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for this match. There's 5 minutes remaining in the the Barbarians versus Fiji first half. The Barbarians giving Fiji a game to see if they can do that against the All Blacks. Says Manny M. And what they scored, rolling spots, says Doctor. And there as well, did you see the Japan game, Kiwi lad? I only got to see the score and a few moments of it, so I'll definitely have to give that a watch. Probably later on, or probably tomorrow, in fact, after I've slept. But we will be having a look. We'll also be hopefully doing an updated All Black squad video on the channel, and alongside that, we will also be announcing the All Black squad on Monday. Told you Glasgow aren't going to be pushovers, even if the Bulls are favourites. And leave the Scots alone and be respectful. Says Rugby in there as well. And also, yes, they needed that score. If Glasgow win, they then they need to head straight to their hotel and stay there, lol. Says bystander, yeah, they won't be the most popular team in South Africa. It is fair to say if they were somehow able to cause the away win. Now, last time that these two sides played, it was 40 points to 34 in favour of the Bulls. We'll stay with you on the commentary, says Frederick. And respect to Glasgow, they have fight in them, says G. And there as well. But second half is just around the corner. We'll get some stats to do with the first, ladies and gentlemen. Looking through at these key stats. Possession actually in favour of Glasgow at the end of the half. 52% in their favour. They had 21 defenders beaten for Glasgow compared to the 9 defenders beaten by the Bulls. Of course, looking at the scoreline tells a slightly different story. Territory, 57% in favour of Glasgow. They have got an 89% tackle completion, 74 tackles made, missing 9, whereas 70 tackles are made by the Bulls in that first half. In fact, 72 tackles made, missing 19, so 79% for the tackle percentage, one of their lowest throughout the whole season, which is not ideal. 9 penalties conceded here from Glasgow, though, throughout that first half compared to the 3 of the Bulls. I don't think they'll be too far away from the yellow card warning. In terms of most metres carried, Josh Mackay has had 55. He's had the most defenders beat him throughout this game. And then most for the Bulls in both those stats is actually Devon Williams. Tackles, we've seen 14 made by Matt Fagerson. And then Johan Hrubler has made 11 for himself as well. Hanekom is going to get a major talking to in the changing sheds. Says Lilia there and only 6 points in it. South Africa versus Wales second half scoreline was 27-0. Says bystander. So that just shows perfectly that anything can happen in the second half. I do look forward to seeing exactly which way it does go. If Glasgow can get a quick early converted try in the second half, it's game on. Says Manny M. and Rassi said that Franco Smith is the best coach he knows. So don't be surprised if Franco takes over from Rassi one day when Rassi's had enough. And say David Kidwell among Eddie coaching staff. Says the Blues name. But looking through at the benches for this game, Acha van der Merwe alongside Matanzima and Klopper as the front row replacements. Ludwig and Nassim Carr as the other 2 forward replacements. And then Zach Berger, Chris Smith and Cornell Smith will be there as the number 23 for Glasgow. George Turner, McBeth and Keble for the front row. Williamson, Ferry and Fenter all there as the replacements for the forwards as well. They have got a 6-2 split in this contest. And then Dobie and Ware, I should say, as the other 2 replacements in this matchup. The upcoming series for the South Africans is just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. They will be taking on the Irish. That has taken place in 14 days' time. It's going to be an entertaining one. We are covering both of those games on the channel, as well as the game up against the Portuguese. So if you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for these matches. And we have got plenty more coming next weekend. We are doing the Under-20s competition for the Under-20s Championship. We will get to see a few entertaining games. In fact, while we are at it, we might as well have a quick Google and see exactly who is playing in those under-20 games. And then also the Māori All Blacks taking on the Japan XV is another game that will be taking place. Chloe says, are we not going and where? You're supposed to come to South Africa to marry me. Says a world champs twice. When Rassi was asked if he misses Naneba, he was like, personally, yes. Never needed him professionally. Says rugby there. I've only seen the highlights, but England playing a good game. Werner Dern, a Kiwi, had a good game. Says Glenn Woods. I love the Portugal game being included. Great for progression of rugby. So I will ask you the question, though. And I want the honest answer because I could be wrong in this statement. But would it have been better for South Africa to play Ireland 3 times and have Portugal face the South African, or South Africa A is what they would be called, but give those guys who aren't in the Springboks an opportunity to play and just keep them in the running for bot contention heading into that rugby championship? Like, I love the idea of the lower sides getting the games, but I do feel like they're just throwing Portugal in the deep end. It would have been maybe a closer game if it was a South Africa A side. And then that South Africa A side could also play Namibia. They could play Kenya. They could play, Romania, all these other sides. Please, we all need an invite to your wedding to Hamish. Says Jacqueline there. And 3 times definitely says stretch. And how does Kurtley Ardensa look? Is he a bit weary and nervous with the ball in hand or going for the high ball catches? To be honest, he still looks like he is pretty aggressive in the way that he is playing. He doesn't look too concerned overall. He does still seem like he's getting in there and getting a bit of the action going. He doesn't look like he's quite making the right decisions when it comes to his offloading, though. There's been a couple of times that he's just kind of thrown the ball away. We will go down here. The men's Olympic repechage is currently taking place. The South Africans trying to qualify in that one as well. But at the moment, the games that are taking place next week, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be France under 20 versus Spain under 20. There is England versus Argentina under 20, Ireland versus Italy under 20, Australia versus Georgia, South Africa versus Fiji. That's going to be a game that we are definitely going to be covering. And then New Zealand versus Wales is the other game that is also going to be taking place. South Africa, yes, but throw Portugal in the deep end. I think it's good. Says by standard, which stadium is in your background? It is Loftus, the same stadium that they are playing at for this game. With all the Irish injuries, mate, there is no need for 3 games. The Box will win the test 2-0. And boy, Hamish's girlfriend is in the room next door, frantically trying to find out who Chloe is. Says Christopher the Vet. Australia would have won the World Cup this year. If it wasn't for Israel Folau suing Rugby Australia and nearly bankrupting them. Says G. I mean, they almost bankrupted themselves, though, by paying Eddie Jones so much money when they certainly shouldn't have. Currently, Barbarians are leading the game 17 points to 14 at the moment in their matchup. For anyone wondering about that game that is happening, New Zealand under 20 going to murder Wales under 20. I want to guarantee it. I mean, they did all right in that under 20 Rugby Championship, of course, but you can never be too confident heading into a contest. Every once in a while, you do meet your match. I actually think it will be a good learning experience for Portugal to play the Springboks. Portuguese people living in South Africa are excited for that match, says Lilia. Although it is still that question mark for me of would it have been a better game for development if it was South Africa A. Playing the Springboks, of course, on paper sounds like it's a massive opportunity, and it's one of those opportunities that some of those guys may only get to experience once. But at the same time, I just get a little bit concerned that if Portugal lose that game 80 points to 0 or something like that, even though their rugby has come a long way, I'd like to think it would be a lot closer. But is there something in the confidence that then, doesn't go too well? No, I'm serious. They are on the verge of bankruptcy over the Israel Folau court ruling, says Guy. And they're like, I'm also serious about them paying Eddie Jones far too much money. They were giving him $1 million a year for his coaching role. Second half, not too far away from getting underway in this contest. Halftime in the Barbarians versus Fiji game has just started, so they will have a bit more time before they do end up coming back out onto the field. But do let me know your score predictions for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see Glasgow getting back into the contest, or will it be once again the Bulls who are victorious at Loftus Versfeld like they have been quite a few times throughout their recent games? At the end of the World Cup, everyone agreed the rugby won. It was touching, says Cool Story Bro. Portuguese people are scary. They are too passionate. I think Andy Farrell should have sent the emerging Ireland team to South Africa. There's no way with all the absence, injuries and retirements, Ireland can beat the Box. He might as well rebuild for 2027. Kiwi lads, breakfast or lunch, gets in the bakery. Probably not. Not today, anyway. Not really feeling the bakery just yet. I think that's just because I've been up all night, though. And sometimes you feel the bakery in the morning, but other times you don't. So I feel like today's one of those days. Could go for a burger, though. It's been a long time since I've had a burger. We looked at burgers all through last weekend's live streams, and they just made me hungry, ladies and gentlemen. So just to be absolutely an annoyance, I'm going to show you guys the picture of that burger that I think I want to get. But I would have to travel 30 minutes to get it, is the only problem. But let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if you had to drive 30 minutes to get a burger and then 30 minutes back afterwards, and the burger looked like this, would you say it is worth it, or would you say it's not worth the time? 1 hour of travel for a burger that looks like that. Keen or not keen? Do let me know, but I'm looking at it, and I am keen. It just looks like I want to grab it. Oh, imagine that. Tell you what, if I ever get a burger sponsorship, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand like that, and then what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm going to click that button, and then boom, have the burger in my hand, in behind it. I've kind of given away some secrets there. Start your motor. And yes, once a week, no delivery where you are. No, we don't even have Uber Eats where I am. We don't even have McDonald's or KFC or anything. Blues Nate has just made it a lot more tempting. Get 2, says James. Well, with Nate's generosity, that could be a possibility. I agree with you. Now's the time to blood new players. Loads of garnish looks juicy. Not worth the time, says Frederick. No, says Jacqueline there. Get 2. Rassi might play most of the newbie box for the Portugal game, is learning match for them. Let's go, Hamish, quarter pounder. Portugal should stick to football. I mean, they were pretty decent in the World Cup, though. Count yourself lucky, says Geza. Yeah, it's very generous from Nate. And now I'm very tempted. An egg sandwich with waddy sauce and lettuce, says Doctor. I really shouldn't have shown that burger because now I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten anything since about 5 p.m. yesterday. So about 12 hours or so we've gone without a snack. But that is because we've been very busy. We've been editing flat out. We've been getting stuff all organised for these live streams. I have to say I'm very thankful that the Super Rugby live stream did not get struck with a copyright strike. As you guys know, last year when we did the final, we did get copyright strike on that stream, and it was extremely annoying. And if we had got one in this last live stream, it means that we wouldn't have been able to cover Wales versus South Africa, and we also wouldn't have been able to cover this one. So, like, it's one of those ones that I'm very thankful that we've been able to get through these streams the way that we have, driving kilometres to get the burger. You end up buying it for far more the darn thing, says Bystander. Well, Nate is very generously paid for fuel, so that's one bonus, I guess. And fried chicken and waffles, says Gus. Man, here in Sydney, everyone gets Uber Eats. I would defo get that. I love Uber Eats. When we went to Melbourne, this was like 4 or 5 years ago, but they had Uber Eats. And that's dangerous. Because the fact that you can just order something and it shows up at the door is just like, it's a recipe for disaster. Too many gherkins. I agree. I'm going to get it without the gherkins if I get it. Because gherkins, I mean, unpopular opinion, but also popular at the same time. I don't think they deserve to be on that burger, you know. Everything else just looks so nice. And they make it so easy these days with Mr. Delivery, Uber Treats to get that burger. Net score is going to be the key. But yeah, for us, like, we don't have delivery here. And they also don't have delivery 30 minutes south or 30 minutes north. So we do have to travel for the hour to get it. Net score is going to be key, says Danny. I'm coming to your area, Amish brother. I have a Mr. Delivery app. Or McDelivery, is it? From Birdie V. Italy been playing since 1987 and still conceded 96 points against the Foster's All Blacks in the 2023 World Cup. Although they also beat Wales, though, in the most recent game that they did play. Second half is almost here, ladies and gentlemen, for this contest between the Glasgow Warriors and... well, there we go. They got the past winners on the signs. Glasgow won it in 2015. The Bulls are yet to win it. We have to wait and see whether or not there's a possibility. New Zealand under 20 versus Spain under 20. The Spanish going to be roasted, says Manny M. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we've got games next week. It may seem like we won't have any games because there's no real international rugby, but there is the under-20s championship that we will be covering, as well as the Māori All Blacks playing as well. Why Tam is in Wellington and Jenny is in Hamilton, not answering. I think they're in church, says Big B. If they're not answering yet, it's because it's 5:08 a.m. here in New Zealand, so that might be why. Just have a glass of wine, I promise you'll forget about that burger, says Jacqueline. Chloe proposed to you in one of the World Cup games last year. And we haven't seen her since, have we? So she never got the answer. Glasgow haven't won as a new tournament now, and neither have the Bulls. So it's going to be a great opportunity for both of these sides. Coming in Honeycomb, gets the turnover. And the Bulls now back in possession. Elite teams should only pay elite teams, or play elite teams. No time for the likes of Portugal, says Manny M. Now nice attack and run for from Jack Dempsey. Up to the halfway line. I was at the 2015 final when Glasgow won it. Shame for them. They couldn't keep that team in place, says Geza. And we have got there. Smash that like and subscribe to this channel. Great turnover, says cool story, bro. But yeah, great work from Cummin and Honeycomb to then have that ball stolen straight away by Glasgow. We're able to get it back in their hands. Now George Horn kicks it high. Nicely taken by Devin Williams, who has picked up and walked towards the sideline by Kyle Stain, and he does push him out. Glasgow trying. And 7:08 in South Africa. Says Herman, I make my own burgers yesterday. I made my own burgers. Would you, if I told you my secret ingredient, a Scottish delicacy? What's a Scottish delicacy? Haggis? And I brought a the foundation, the more stable the penthouse, says Gus. Why don't you pack yourself some snacks to tend you over these long sessions? It's only really because, like, I can't eat and do a live stream at the same time. We've tried it in the past with cricket, which is actually a lot slower pace than the rugby streams, yet I still couldn't eat the food, so I pretty much had to just sit there and watch my food get cold and then have it afterwards. Six Nations Championship teams should have a 10-team league and should stay that way. It was 9 months ago. I'd love to have you as a South Africa rugby supporter. Said World Champs twice. Now it's going to be taken. What does the referee mean taken back? I assume that it's for the 50-22 rather than for, of course, the 22. That is nicely done by Johan Rubela, trying to put it back onto the side. Glasgow losing their footing there. Could have been a penalty against it. Just thought of it. The flat earthers. There will be sun all day long. Enjoy trying to take a night nap, says bystander. Now Jack Dempsey again crashing at the opposition. Rolling this one back. There's going to be George Horn, I should say. Now again, it's going high. Doesn't get much on it. Nicely taken by Sir Jill Pedersen. The ball bounces out the side and Glasgow have got themselves another penalty. Triple turnover, says Cool Story Bro. They're starting to come back into this game a little bit, Glasgow. They have to be careful here, the Bulls, that they don't allow Glasgow back into this match, because if they do, then Glasgow will take it. I love the Hamish pause to think. And make your own burger patties in an air fryer. Get a top quality barbecue sauce with nice buns. Well, I do love myself some nice buns. And Warriors still in this, says James. Exactly right. And they've kicked this one for the touchline again here. Currently, they're head-to-head. Kyle Steyn, 666 metres made throughout the season. 36 defenders beaten. He's got a lot of stats in his favour. In fact, every single stat across the board is in favour of Kyle Steyn. Or Steyn, I should say. How much longer is half-time? It is actually in the second half. The scoreboard just hasn't updated it. We're 44 minutes through at the moment in this match. Now, nicely claimed by Johnny Matthews. To Richie Graham. Back off to Matthews. Rolling maul here. Close to the sideline. Doing well to stay in the field of play, though, for Glasgow. I love chicken self-fried burgers. Kyle Steyn back across again to Fagerson. Oh, thank you, says Gade Benoit. No worries at all. 5 metres out for the line, though, for Glasgow. Johnny Matthews, he scored 14 tries throughout the season. Pops it up there to Ollie Kebble, I believe that is, with a nice big fend off. Around the side, getting that little bit closer, and another penalty goes the way of the Bulls. Absolutely Glasgow forward. Says Cool Story Bro, but those type of turnovers can change a game. I believe it's Johan Rubela again. He has had quite the performance throughout this game. They got the crowd at the moment. They are singing Rassi for the Cranberries song. We're going to be hearing that a lot throughout the Irish series, I would think. Almost over. Then Johan Rubela, to be fair, not a lot of rolling away there from the Bulls player. Now 35 minutes remaining. Johan Rubela will again throw this ball, and we have just seen the 2 tries in this match. Looks like there is a player down on his knee. That is Richie Gray with an injured shoulder. And looks like he will be able to continue in this one. And Nathan Macbeth making his way onto the field, and sounds like George Turner also. I do love myself some nice buns, says Glenn Woods. Second half of Glasgow, Barbarians versus Fiji should be very close. Macbeth, utterly Scottish, says sighted. A line-out throw stolen by Glasgow. They have got the ball back on the halfway line now. Rory Daj, tackled by Cameron Hanekom. He's lost his footing. Canberra Zombie song already. I'm sure they know the Warriors are from Scotland. Getting in the Irish kids already, says bystander. Yeah, of course, like I mentioned, that song's going to be played a lot throughout the Irish series, I would think. Now they're protecting this ball here, Glasgow. Looking to go for Another box kick. Kyle Steyn chasing after it onto the 22. Tries to slap it back. It's going to be knocked on. Nohan Hussein does take it nicely. Goes away to Elric Lowe, who moves up to the 22. Bruce Papier doing that song into a South African psychological crowd. Weapon is the smartest thing the South African people have ever done. Says, cool story, bro. Another good match today is French Top 14 semi-final. Stade Francais at home against Bordeaux, and they have won last 3 versus Bordeaux, says Jonathan Manson. That match isn't too far away from starting, is it? I made a homemade bacon egg sandwich and a Dixon cider. Bacon and eggs would go alright, to be honest, as a nice breakfast meal. I'm thinking that the Bulls need to step up hot jiggity, and things will start turning a little tartan soon. And let's see, let's have some smart rugby Glasgow, and that is a good run from Jack Dempsey. 35 metres out, South Africa smash Wales, will smash Ireland, get ready, kick down behind, trying to win that foot race. Sergio Peterson takes it well. That was almost a little bit high from Matt Fagerson, has to be careful with a tackle like that. Devon Williams kicks it into touch, can't go wrong with bacon and eggs, and try fish and chips with curry sauce. So they don't have that here in New Zealand. I know that that is a big thing in England. You have your bacon and eggs and you have some curry sauce with it. The crowd don't like it. Because they are booing, they will look at it again. There's no tackle. That was high there. Up the wires, says Glenn Woods. And spare rib of a bull, says William Moses. This game far from over. Feel like it's going to start heating up as well as we move further through the second half. Currently 47.5 minutes through. Nassim Carr is onto the field. That is for Cameron Hanekom. It's been taken from the field. Hasn't quite got the tries that he would have been after here. Also looks like he's nursing a bit of a limp here for Cameron Hanekom. How much have you tried Indian food? I have, yes. We have got... That is actually one thing we do have here where I'm from, is we do have a Indian takeaway shop. Playing in the Scots' hands, but loose, maybe. See, it's cool story, bro. And up the wire. It also the Bulls need to play hot potato with their ball, says Hangarat. Kick downfield. Well taken there by Kyle Steyn. Met head on by Sergio Peterson. Yeah, Matt Fagerson hits the ball up. And there's just been some very solid runs throughout this game. It's always going to be gritty. It's always going to be grindy when we see these two sides go head-to-head. Definitely with the fact that this is the final. Tackle success, though. 77% for the Bulls in this game. They've missed 29 tackles, whereas Glasgow have only missed 9. So on the score sheet, you'd almost think that the score will translate in their favour very soon for Glasgow. Now back across again, Tom Jordan. Another big run from Scott Cummings, building phase after phase. It's been the last 5 metres that Glasgow have struggled to handle the most, unfortunately. It's just those little mistakes late do end up going wrong for them. Now back across to the right-hand side, Xander Fagerson again. This way a little bit closer to the try line. One more try for the Bulls. Game over, I reckon. See, it's a cool story, bro. That's going to be kicked high from George Horn again, targeting just outside of that 22, and he's done beautifully, but so has Sergio Peterson to be able to take that one well. And Bruce Papier goes across to Mako van Staden. What is how teams always end up defending all the time, annoying. Says hanger out, looks like Johan Hussein is going to kick this one downfield. A lot of space. And now Tom Jordan has to run back. He's got Kurtley Arendse chasing after him off the side of the boot for Jordan. And massive territory gained for the Bulls there. Remember, altitude, altitude, altitude. Joe the Bulls from a Stormer supporter. Says Herman there. Currently Fiji versus Barbarians. Very close game between those two sides. Actually sitting 17-17 at the moment in that match. And because everyone else is always attacking. Now, getting ready for this one. Acha van der Merwe making his way onto the field. Portugal is good in soccer, bad in rugby. I would disagree. I feel like for for such a new rugby nation, they're actually, they're decent. They gave a few sides in that World Cup a run for their money, which was great to see. And not everyone is going to be at the same level because not everyone has the same players available as well as the same funding that the other sides do have. And I smell chops. Well, they go all right at the moment. I'm sure there are quite a few braais that have been fired up in South Africa. Who cares about 7, says Manny M? I do. Fun fact, we have covered every leg of the 7 since the Olympics. We have also got plans of covering the Olympic 7s in the near future. So when we talk about who cares about 7s, me. Oh, there's a little hand. There we go. Right. Line out throw here for Achafana Merva. Nicely taken by Ruanokia. Now fun starting goes to Papia inside ball. To Foster. Finds Achafana Merva. Another advantage in favour of the Bulls if they go back for this one. Oh, Husson wants the drop goal. He's missed it, but now they will have the opportunity to get those 3 points anyway. I smell the bright smoke everywhere in Pretoria tonight. Says Albin, and good point. The Bulls must attack, says Goldberg. And the Boks have been atrocious in the 7th season, although they do still have a chance of qualifying for the Olympics. I believe they have to win all their games from here on out, though, in terms of those repechage games. They have been taking place at the moment. I believe they are playing Uganda in the quarterfinals, so they have to win that game. Also in the quarterfinals, there is Great Britain versus Tonga. There is Spain versus Hong Kong, and there is Canada versus Chile. So who knows, maybe we will cover that game between South Africa and Uganda on the channel. I love rugby. On all of you, and all of you on this channel. After Hamish enjoying 7s and myself, definitely 2+ people in the world. Olympics Power says bystander. That kick has gone over from the Bulls after Johan Husson has got it over. They Ferns will win the women's 7s in the Olympics. I thought no one cared about the 7s, you said, Manny M. And Bulls are the favourites now, says James. And Yuri Keenan can make a difference to Ireland winning the Paris 7s in the Olympics. He's a class fullback, says Sportsman Philly. Yeah, he's very new with his 7s. Oh, that's going to be the penalty now going the way of Glasgow. And Husson has made playing rugby since before they found out some dinosaurs has feathers. How old is he? He's up there in age. I think he's about 35 at the moment, Johan Husson. Just have a quick look now. Johan Husson is... He's only 31. The bloke is actually a lot younger than he looks. I would have picked him to be about, like I said, 35. Me too, 7s rugby is exciting. Says Lilia there. I don't understand the T20 World Cup format, says Albert. It's a bit confusing. They've kind of got a group stage and then another group stage type thing. I guess it extends the competition and has the top sides playing each other for longer. Black Ferns better start rebuilding if they're going to be England in next year's Women's Rugby World Cup. Hawson was with Noah on the boat. True story, says Cited. And now 5 metres out from the line. Johnny Matthews leaves the field. Have the AB's captain been announced yet? Not yet, no. But on Monday they are announcing the squad, which is when they will announce the captain as well. Glasgow committing a lot of players to this rolling maul. They're being told to use it. Although they break through and they score the try there for Glasgow. They are back in the contest, ladies and gentlemen. And it's George Turner, the replacement hooker, who does get the try. Black Ferns have won more World Cups than the All Blacks, says Manny M. And here's the one with the clipboard, got it. And I always rated Husson. He peaked later, recognised, happy for him. I was at 15 at times. And Husson has been there before the universe had like crazy old. Send crew out for pizza. Oh, I love some pizza. I feel like I'm just going to end up getting a whole heap of random food tomorrow that I really shouldn't, but we might end up doing it. How did New Zealand not win a World Cup, says James, because they lost by 1 point in the end. And Bulls missing Villy, says Albert. I like the Kiwi Ferns from League. And I was like, come on, boys. We have Matt John, and please cover South African schoolboy rugby. Bloody fantastic, I tell you. I'd like to. They just don't have anywhere that they actually show it here in New Zealand, unfortunately. So that does make it a lot more challenging because I'll probably have to have a DSTV subscription to be able to watch it. But that kick has gone over from George Horn, which will now make the score 16 points to 14. The scoreboard's been really asleep in the second half, ladies and gents. Should mention that for the Barbarians, Lestafine Arnuku has just scored a try in the match up against the Fijians, so they will go up 22 points to 17. Chloe will bring food to your door. Says bystander, Seven's given us a few awesome rugby players. Jonah Cully. Says Glenn Woods there. You say what you want. South African teams in box are the best. Says Evan. We're England playing today. They played up against Japan and got themselves a win. Now, nice break of the line for Josh Mackay. This is a lot of space to work with. He's kicked that one a little bit too early. He needs it to hit the post. It goes dead for Josh Mackay. Massive let-off and a massive disappointment there for Mackay after having a fantastic run. Some matches on YouTube says 123 MS. You cover next year Women's World Cup, Hamish? We certainly are. Me and my mum did the last one. Suddenly I'm hungry, says Julian. 16 to 14, crowd sounds happy enough though. And you have DoorDash, aka mum, to bring you food. I do not know. Like, mum does not bring me fast food when she has to travel an hour to get it. But I might have to go on a road trip tomorrow. I think might have to be the way I do it. And towards a proper pizza for Hamish, says Franz. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. Tell you what, we've got a fast food fund going at the moment, ladies and gents. If anyone wants to help me pay for my petrol and my food tomorrow, be sure to hit that donate button, but also hit subscribe on the channel. Drop goals, might as well play Euro Soccer. VGR 17 and the Barbarians are 24. That is correct, yes. Can I shout here? Stormers, says Evan. Now another scrum feed here for the Bulls. There was a big chance for the Glasgow Warriors. Why is the Bok women's team not good? Says Manny M. I'm probably not the best one to comment on this side. Rugby Channel, I get food and said that is the penalty to Glasgow. Get food money instead. I love it. And where are you from in New Zealand? So I am halfway in between Christchurch and Dunedin in terms of location. The Gerhard Stennekamp, the man who's been penalised for that one. Still another 23 minutes left. Momentum is in the favour of Glasgow. They've scored more tries than the Bulls in this game. Now they've got another line-out chance. Bry on the balcony behind you. Gotta love a barbecue, don't you? I was actually going to do that after the Rugby World Cup. If it wasn't for me being so exhausted, I was actually going to have like a post-World Cup barbecue / braai out on my decking and have it as a live stream. But we never ended up doing it just because by the end of that game, I was absolutely exhausted. All Barbarians have scored again between the posts. I've been told to use it once here for Glasgow. Oh, that's moving forward quite nicely at the moment. Hamish, you're on Lords of the Rings country. Just need a braai. Okay, they cannot change their bind here. For the Rolling Maul, they've been told to use a horn. Going across the Tuipalotu. Bounce pass. Nice run out the back door. Consigliere has had a bit of a fumble there. Or a bit of a slip, I should say. No international comp for them. Says 123 MS there. If the Bulls don't win this, all hospital ICUs in Pretoria are going to be overcrowded. No jokes, please win. Says Lilia. And Oswego there. Glasgow can do this. They got momentum, says James. Yeah, they've currently got the possession towards your takeout trip. Thank you very much, Robert. Well, greatly appreciated. Who is that fella? I don't actually know who that is. Is it from a cartoon of some sort? I thought there was a Springbok logo on his helmet, or his hat, but I don't believe it is. Portugal are 3 and Turkey are 0 in the football. And Bulls seem to have been stuck in their own head. Hamish, I should presume you know of Egg Chasers. He is pulling through to South Africa soon. If I see him, I'll put in a good word, Bud, says bystander. Cheers. I would like to see a women's British and Irish Lions team versus the Black Ferns in a one-test match. And we're having 14 to 16. Yeah, unfortunately for the Bulls, G.I. Joe. I feel like I should have known that, shouldn't I? I'm not very cultured. Let's go Hamish, getting the ball rolling. Says a Nate. Yeah, she's a character from G.I. Joe. And also, I'm South African. Living next to Loftus, and I'm a loyal cheater, so I support Franco Smith. They did give away a penalty. The most recent play there, Glasgow. My mum says the Bulls need to wake up now. She's a big Bulls fan. I have to make sure I read that well, don't I? Or else it's a completely different thing. On her birthday as well. Hopefully they win it for her on her birthday. Akafunda Merva. Now I'll throw on that one in. Money drops. Says Blues Nate. Yeah, at this stage we're going to be able to get a whole variety. We're going to be able to get a burger, a pizza, and all sorts. And Bulls became complacent. Big wake up for them now. Says Annie. Hinko Fenta. Trying to get the turnover. Really, Sean, thanks for letting me know. And also very good there. Altitude is there. Susie. And yeah, she needs a birthday gift from the Bulls. He got the drippy, okay, says Glenn Woods, but now the Bulls still in position. 20 minutes left on the clock now to be able to really make the impact in a close game between these two sides. It could easily go either way. We'll go low now, having another carry. I don't think he'll be too far away from cross kick attempted now. And slapped back by Josh Mackay. Well claimed there for the young number 22 for Glasgow. Running down the wing, it is Jamie Dobie, who just keeps himself in the field of play. No must pry, says Craig. And Springboks are a credit to themselves, says James, and they are going back for the original penalty advantage in favour of the Glasgow Warriors. What's the correct score, please? So it is still 16 points to 14, but we are 60 minutes in at the moment, or in fact almost 61. No more tries, just penalties or drops, says Cool Story Bro. It does have a big finals feel to it, to be honest. I like this a lot more than Super Rugby's final, mainly because Super Rugby, once the Blues got about that 20-point lead, it just seemed like it was always going to go their way, whereas this game, either of these sides still have a chance of being able to get themselves a victory here. Bride already, says Eben. If this goes down to the point, win, I will be beside myself, that heart attack stuff, and enough time to still win. Yeah, exactly right. Both of these sides have got more than enough capabilities of getting themselves a win. Can really start to see Glasgow with a grandstand finish to this game. Hamish thinking extra cheese quarter pounder. Petrol tank is full. George and Hamish off to Macca's. Yeah, I don't know whether or not I've quite got enough to take George with me yet, but we'll see. Egg Chaser's bad. Says all Blacks didn't deserve to rugby beating Italy by 90 points to a Tier 2 nation. Then praised France for putting 50 on Italy a week later, says Doctor. And Bulls wake up now. Dobie on the outside. Nice pass to Kyle Stain. Trying to beat David Krill for pace, and he's done just that. They're 5 metres out from the line again here for Glasgow. Henko Fenta passes it across for Xander Fagerson. They're in with a really good shot of scoring again here for Glasgow. Josh Mackay, nice sell at the dummy. Tui Pilotu just dragged down. Still 15 metres out. Tom Jordan has to play halfback. Going across there, it's going to be Jack Dempsey. Wake up the Bulls. Glasgow are on attack. I didn't hear Eliza Biddy's name. A lot nice pass on the outside to Kyle Stain. Inside ball. Glasgow score the try. And they have taken the lead for the first time in this contest. Oh, this is getting closer. Oh, come on, Bulls. 1 pointer again, says Herman. The Bulls must wake up now, says Richard. How many minutes till the game is over? Still another 17 minutes remaining in this match, but Glasgow have taken the lead for the first time in this game. Yes, Glasgow, says Manny M. Bulls need another penalty. Oh, there goes that, dang it, says hang a wrap, a nice inside ball. It is going to be Hugh Jones who scores. I was wrong try, says Cool Story Bro. Love rugby when there's no Timo stuff and carts, says Glenn Woods. Yeah, we haven't had a single card throughout this game, which has been quite awesome so far. And that just shows the difference between having, I know that South Africa versus Wales, there were moments of ill discipline, but the fact that now the TMO has so much power that they can go back, luckily this game not being played under those same rules, but the fact that they have so much ability to go back and check things is going to lead to a lot more cards with the new rule set. If Bulls says bystander, what's the crowd reaction to that try? They weren't too happy with it, as you can imagine. Now lining up this kick, it is going to be George Horn again. And he's got it over again. 5 points lead for Glasgow. 21 points to 16. It was talked about whether or not the Glasgow Warriors were going to slow down with the altitude. If anything, it seems like they've sped up. And at the moment, the position is currently 55% in favour of the Glasgow Warriors. 90% tackle rate compared to the Bulls, who have only got 76% of their tackles. That means every 1 in 4, the Bulls are missing a tackle. And unfortunately for them, that is where the line breaks are coming. Here comes Jack Dempsey. Goes away to Tom Jordan. Tried to fend off Nassim Carr. Doesn't get around him. I can't see the Bulls turning this around. They have no existence in this game. Says Papa Rumpel. Yeah, throughout the second half, we haven't seen a huge amount. It would be a turnover in the breakdown. I think that would turn it around for them, though. It looks like George Horn again will go for the box kick. I don't see a lot of game time coming for... Well, I mean, the replacement is actually already on the field, so I guess not. There's going to be a knock on there from the Bulls. Referee has actually said no to both. No high tackle, no knock on. So I guess it is going to be play on here. Ambrose Papier back across to the left-hand side. David Creel with a standing start. Caitlin Vahakolo made a successful transition from the Kiwi Ferns to the Blackburns. And if she can do it, so can Manu. Says Manny Emma. Franco Smith is a rugby genius. And aware you cur. I get hands off you, Mrs. Bro, game on. Says the Blues. Now, I'm sure he'll be watching from somewhere. Oh, no, in fact, he's on holiday, isn't he? I think, if I'm not wrong there. So that might be why we haven't seen him pop in. It's about who wants it more from here. And Glasgow wins, says Jamel. Looking for the turnover. I'm not able to get it yet. Papier now going back across. And as the Bulls find themselves down by 5, the clock seems to be ticking ever so quickly. Matt Ferguson tried to get the turnover. Wasn't on the ball. Was on the man. Nassim Khan now. Tackled low by Henko Fenter. They're going for a counter ruck here. Not quite successful. Score needs to be updated. Says Sean O'Farrell. Now Johan Hussein. They haven't actually updated it on the online scoreboard, sadly. So that is slightly unfortunate. T-Bone is king, brother, says Dr. Pooh. As the game on Sky Sport now, I can't find it on there. It's on TVNZ. Oh, it's an interception. Jack Dempsey in a 100-metre sprint. Well, not 100, but 50 metres, and it's another try now for the Glasgow Warriors. They are now 2 tries ahead of this Bulls side. It hasn't been awarded, though. They will have to check this. Is this going to be brought back? That is the big question. They're going upstairs for the TMO. See whether or not this one can be disallowed. But if it is a try, could be close to game over. Oh, okay. TMO has said there's a tackle off the ball. Oh, early by half a second there for George Turner. So that is going to be a disallowed try now. And Glasgow goes Jamal. So they're going back for the penalty. The crowd are happy about it, but they need to start seeing some more fight from their side because they are down by 5, even though the scoreboard will not update at the moment. Tell you what, that's not that early either. It's pretty close. Half a second interim mile, says Hanger Rat. Funny how times go by quicker than when one's under pressure, yet time is constant, says Lilia B, and that's it at the Brandy. And I'll dodge the bullet there. Ball says sight, and it looks like Johan Hussein. Is he going to go for the corner here, or is he going to go for the 3 points? Just don't get a petrol station meat pie, Hamish, says Glenn. Yeah, we'll have to get a burger, I think. Burger and maybe a pizza too, with the generosity of you guys. All right, they want to find the mark here. 91% voted for the Bulls when a South African's going to realise that just because the South African team is in a grand final, that doesn't mean they'll straight out win. Says Connor Cahill. To be fair, they have the home field advantage and they did come in as favourites for this contest, so they probably had a bit of a case of backing them. I would have gone about 70-30 in terms of my percentages in this game, and at the moment I would have it a little bit higher in favour of Glasgow, but the Bulls, they, after winning that penalty, have got themselves the line out. And Connor, you bellend, of course, people are going to vote for the home team idiot, says Papa Rumpel there. And what's the score? Currently it is 16-21, but I think the scoreboard is updated from South African. They don't want to give Glasgow the lead in this one. Ludwig, he is now onto the field. That is going to be for Vermaak. And see, there's TMO killing the game, and Bulls are hard to beat at Loftus, though. So he decided, yeah, winning 12 of their last 13 games at Loftus. Like, a lot of things were in their favour. And this one, an ouch, half a second, big call from the ref. And go for the try. Glasgow, says Manny M, and Glasgow 21 now, says Richard. They certainly are, and now finally has updated. And Bros Papia goes across to Harold Foster. Running it straight at Tui Palotu. Where's Mornay when you need him? And South Africa team still losing in the final super. And this lower level grade of rugby, says Doctor. Now Nassim Kar. They're only 15 out now. And Bros Papia goes to the left-hand side where he finds Elric Lowe, who had an extremely busy first half. Haven't seen a huge amount of him throughout the second. Another tackle made on Mako van Staden. Back across. Elric Lowe again. Discipline lad, says bystander. Yeah, I think the penalty count is about 20 combined throughout this game. Now, Papia goes across to Ruan Nokia. You mean Pollard, says Evan, and come on the Bulls, WGF. Now back across to Ludwig. Papia going across to Marco van Staden, almost leading with the forearm there. Got to be careful with that one. Now Ruan Nokia. Again, the ball is still there for the Bulls, up to 14 phases. Wilco Lowe. They wanted the turnover. They couldn't get it. Johan Husson now goes in behind to Nassim Kar. I was in the 9%, says Glenn Woods. And there as well. I watch, just so you know, Genius is grand final. It can go either way, says Connor. And altitude, says Goldberg. Although the side that looked like they were more impacted by altitude in the second half has actually been the Bulls, believe it or not. And that is the penalty for a high tackle in favour of Glasgow. I think it was a high clean out around the neck there on Henko Fenta. I win money today, says Jamal. And also any Bulls players left on the bench, says Lilia. I believe they still have Zach Berger that they can bring on. They've still got Cornell Smith and Chris Smith. In terms of the front row, I think they've made a couple changes, but Francois Klopper, can still make his way on. Where's Rugby at? It's exciting now. And also we got there 23-21. Which rugby league player from New Zealand Kiwis would you select for the AB's Hamish? I'd probably have to look into it a bit more, to be honest, to work out who's actually in there. The win predictor at the moment, 58% in favour of the Glasgow Warriors. Near the start of this game, it was 75% in favour of the Bulls. Altitude is affecting the Bulls, says B. Goldberg there, and good Glenn Woods, says Jamal. And 10 minutes is plenty of time, says bystander. Is still anyone's game to take at this point. Exactly right. Only 5 points difference between these two sides. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. You're being here for this final. And of course, we got plenty more coming just around the corner as well. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Well, we will go like this. We will go like that. Right, the time is back on. And as the clock ticks down, we get closer to the end of this contest. It's sad to say, but I think the Bulls played their final last week against Leinster, says Johan. Could be a little bit of a similar scenario to what we saw for the Chiefs. We look there at the tackling stats. Glasgow's still tackling at around 90%. The Bulls only tackling at about 70%. So that is a big difference. Difference is the word I meant to say. I don't know where the E came from. Does anyone know where is the next Rugby League World Cup going to be held? I'm not actually too sure. Whereabouts? Nice attack and run there from Jack Dempsey. It was a good season. Oh, that's going to be charged down from Ludwig. Tackle George Horn in the air, and it's another penalty in favour of Glasgow. It was a good season. We have got there another donation. I think that many South Africans have to learn all over again that in the grand final you don't write off the opposition 91% Bulls come on. Says Connor, although like I mentioned, like some of the stats are heavily in favour of them, of course. Like you look at the fact that they have won 12 out of their last 13 games up against opposition in South Africa at Loftus. You know, like there were factors that I could see going a little bit more one-sided, but like I said, about 70-30 I think was about where I had it for this one. I don't think the Springboks game kind of distracted the Bulls. Bulls will be featuring in the Rassi squad. And also we got the Hamish, was that not a neck roll by Kurtley Arnonson? Isn't that a red card? Says CK, it can be, and take the points kick to the polls. Let's go Glasgow, says CK. Now lining up this kick, George Horn. This will use up more time. Franco already has the fittest coach teams, says Albert. Yeah, when you have such a strong defence as well, like it is always going to get you a lot further in a competition. They often say defence wins titles, and I feel like if Glasgow win today, that is the perfect example of that statement. That kick has gone over. No, it hasn't. It's just short. Dropped. And now, bro, it's got nothing to do with the fan base. The bookmakers also have the massive favourites, and the polls have nothing to do with the bookies. Says G. We have got there. The game's not finished yet. I'm going to head out. These are the last few breaths of a dying season. Says Hanger Rattle, though. Glasgow Warriors on attack once more. Rua Nokia looking for the turnover, not kicking to the poles. Bulls major error, says Stefan. And they almost got drawn into playing the Glasgow Warriors way, which involves going for the corner rather than going for threes. And maybe that is the time that Glasgow should have gone for the corner. Hey, thumbs up, Bulls. Konakeo, I saw you, mate. Says, yeah, and my pleasure. I hope this teaches the South Africans a lesson. Play it safe and say rugby is the winner at the end of the day, says Bystander. 7 phases here again. 7 minutes also remaining in this one. Why can't New Zealand clubs match the wages of their European counterparts? Because their competition is not as big as the European counterparts' competitions. Now 25 metres out. Glasgow having the same strong finish like they had up against Munster. I'm in and out here because of work update me, says Denzel. Yeah, still 7 minutes left in this contest and a 5-point advantage here for Glasgow. They've scored 3 tries. Now going short side, Kyle staying good. Driving tackle made by Sergil Pedersen. So Tui Palotu calling a couple of his forwards over. Jack Dempsey hits it up. Almost a turnover there for Marco van Staden, and he does get it. Well, what can I say? At least I paid for that on my own teams. And I know Goosen, what did you do? Says Cited. Now Johan Goosen looking for the kick towards the touchline. Does he find touch? Oh no. It's going to keep on rolling. It's gone dead. That is a massive mistake from Johan Goosen. He wanted to play it for territory. I think he was looking for 50-22 as the option, but that has not worked out. How much does the top rugby union player make in a week? You'd have to ask them. Here's the Bulls show them now, says Vikers, although they won the penalty, but then they threw it away. And they've given Glasgow the possession back. South African clubs have strengthened the Euro teams for sure. So like South African teams did the New Zealand teams in Super Rugby. 2 points difference I predicted here is in the making. Oh yeah, I've got there Tosa Viti Toso. Or Tosa Fiji, yeah. Currently 31-29. What a fantastic game that has taken place between the Barbarians and Fiji at the moment. I wish it wasn't taking place at the same time as this game, though. I feel like they've kind of spoiled it by having it on at the exact same time, as it is a game that I'm sure would have been well and truly worth the watch. Not altitude, but attitude, says Ilmar. And then Bulls morale is down bad, says Jan. I've been impressed with number 19, Williamson, since he came on. Now 6 minutes left. Scrum feed here for the Glasgow Warriors. Time is currently turned off. Now it's back on. The ref is unfair. In what regard, Echo? So of course, Johan Hudson kicking that one dead. The ref had nothing to do with that one. Now it's going to be going back across to the side. Sione Tui Palotu running this one forward. Looking at the penalty count. 14 against Glasgow compared to the 9 of the Bulls. So I guess you're saying that Glasgow have been hard done by giving away 5 extra penalties, Echo? Is that the thing? Oh, it's always the ref. The Bulls are playing shockingly, Says CK, I don't get why everyone rumbling on about altitude. It's actually more oxygen, so everyone has more energy and plays better and for longer. Position stat on the second half, please, Hamish, says Lilia. First of all, though, Glasgow Warriors going out wide, little chip behind from Hugh Jones. Does kick it straight out on the full. Possession, I have the overall possession stat of the game, and it is 53% for the Glasgow Warriors, which is about what it's set at for half-time. That's the downside of how close the time zones of South Africa and England are, says Gus. But, like, they still had tomorrow. They could have played it on Monday or, like, the Sunday over there. Pathetic by the Bulls, not taking shots at goal, says Lawrence there. 4 World Cup wins out of the 8 for someone with that's 50% win ratio. Says Papa Rumple. Only one step matters, says Geza. And that kick out on the full. Says, cool story, bro. Now rolling more coming here for the Bulls. They still have time to win this game. They were on the ground first, they say. Matt Ferguson getting told to get out of there. He hasn't really got out. So surely that's Glasgow's penalty against them, isn't it? Extra time, says Julian there. Richie Wonga should be in the All Blacks squad. And Barbar's game are traditionally played on Sunday. I have no idea why it's on Saturday now. Yeah, I get the whole thing of them trying to do a double header with the South African Wales game, but they could have got a big crowd for this game as well as that South African Wales game. Barbar's games are traditionally played. Oh no, I read that one tonight. Bulls fan, take the potential defeat with respect. South Africa can't win them all. Only human, says bystander. Now Nassim Carr tackled on the halfway line. There is still time, though, for the Bulls to get themselves a converted try, and that would give them the win in this contest. A try would take us to extra time, I believe. Big tackle made by Tom Jordan. Love your logic, H, says Glenn Woods. And 3 more minutes for Glasgow, says Manny M. And yeah, we're getting close to the end of this game. 1 more point of any sort for Glasgow in terms of either a 3 or a try, I believe, will win them this URC final. Is Sunday Rugby okay in Fiji? Says Gus. Normally. Like, as long as it's like, it's a middle of the night game anyway, so it would be like Monday morning Fiji time. So it would actually be more beneficial, I believe, if it was to take place at that stage. Eldrick low on the halfway line. No handling errors recently for the Bulls. They're up to 13 phases in a row. Matt Ferguson trying to get rid of the man in front of him. I wonder what Jake White is going to complain about after this. On the Hurston tackled on the halfway line. Akafana Merva rips it away, gives it to Nokia. That looked forward. And now over the ball there for Glasgow. And they've won themselves the penalty with 2.5 minutes remaining. Great knowledge of rugby, says Big B there. I know, but we need to be humbled to bounce back strong. And thumbs up Glasgow was at 8%, 70 minutes later. And they make a minimum of 75k and maximum 200k. So I'm told, says Drink on the Moon. Hugh Jones, he scored the last try and now he's also managed to get himself the important penalty. 69 minutes into Fiji versus Barbarians. And it's 32 points to 31. Sam Whitelock just making his way from the field. That'll be the last time we see that man play for the Barbarians. He's getting a massive round of applause by the looks of it. And humble pie, they were so arrogant against Wales. There's CK. Hang on, TMO. TMO is coming in to save this. They're saying there's a tackle on Francois Klopper. This might be the game changer. This might put it back in the Bulls' direction, ladies and gentlemen. The TMO. What have they found? What have they looked for? Is the better question. Now, they are going to check this one. If it's the TMO talking about it as well, it must be serious enough to be reviewed. Not over yet. Yeah, this one could change momentum here. Right, here we go. So the tackle on Francois Klopper. No. We haven't just gone upstairs to look at... Okay, they're saying it's a different one. I was about to say, surely that's a bit soft for the TMO to want to have a look at. The Bulls are choking again. I wish the Stormers were playing this game. Who do you want to win, says Leo? I mean, we've got the final that I was after. I wanted it to be close, so I'm happy either way. Eat KFC, says Lev. KFC's a bit more expensive here, though, than the other one, so I don't think that would get me too far at KFC. It's a lot of BS, nothing in that tackle. Yeah, I think they're looking for something else here. No, they're not. They're looking at it again. This is... Okay, it's still the wrong one. This is going to use up 5 minutes. What does this do to momentum in this game? Okay, they haven't got the right footage. Stay away from KFC. Hamish, not food. Eat KFC, says Leif. And there's our Proteas in the T20 against West Indies. It's going to be a good game. We might actually even cover that one on the channel. Who knows? We might be keen, but they are just showing it. Oh, they're showing the same one again. Or are they? No, here it is. Okay, that is the right one. And that is high. So that is a fair enough assessment. Francois Klopper, tackle by Tom Jordan, went in a little bit too high. As it's against the Bulls? No, it is against Glasgow. So they have gone back and they've found themselves a high tackle. It's going to more than likely be a yellow card for Tom Jordan. And they have fair tackle, both head height. Hamish, have you had Nando's? I actually haven't. TMO is simply bad news, says Stefan. Will he return to NPC, Sammy White? Look, I don't think so. I think he's almost close to hanging up the boots completely. Come on, that's not high. Although the next one that they showed was. It was head on head. Like, this is probably going to be a yellow card for Tom Jordan, and this will change the game, ladies and gents. This is the chance that the Bulls need to get themselves the win now. They're showing it at full steam ahead. The TMOs are destroying the game, says CK. And come on, Glasgow, says Smith. Crowd says it's high. Just over 2 minutes remaining here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's going to be a yellow card here for Tom Jordan. The crowd are happy about it. And that is Tom Jordan who will be off. What? For enforcing the rules. Says Papa Rumpel there. It's low, says Leif. Tom Jordan will make his way from the field. He's still trying to fire up his teammates, saying, we've still got another 2 minutes remaining, boys. You got to do it without me. And KFC says Leif, or eat KFC, come on Glasgow. So it is going to be inside of their own half. And the Bulls will once again be able to kick this one towards the touchline. And this will result in probably their last attacking chance of the game. Or at least very close to it. It's medium high, well done. Says, cool story, bro. Come on Glasgow, says Smith. And there as well, can they get back into it? That is the question. So they're going to get them back into it. The Barbarians are going to score themselves a try now. With, I think it's Lachlan Boshier who has scored that try. The Bulls are going to kick this one towards the touchline for Devon Williams. And just 1 more minute. It's close. The end of this game, it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to be all about making the right decisions. It's Devon Williams here who will be kicking this one towards the touchline. Fabian Holland should be in the All Blacks squad anytime soon. Sadly, only eligible from 2025 onwards for Fabian Holland. So we've got to wait a little bit longer before we do get to see that man in. And Bulls head, we're down walking back. Says Eric, and come on Glasgow, just play it cool. Says Manny M. 22 metres out from the line. Akafana he's scored 12 tries throughout the season. Can he get his line out straight? He certainly can. And it is now going to be rolling maul defence for Glasgow. Hanging on to this one at the back. They have to make sure they are not overcommitting. It's gone down by the Bulls. And that ball has popped out the side. And Bruce Papia very close to the touchline. Another tackle made by the Glasgow Warriors. Martin Zima will play halfback. Goes across there. Henko Fenta makes the tackle. One mistake here could be the end of the game. Should have put Smith on ages ago. Says Eric. Now Ambrose Papia back across. They're in the middle of the park. They'd love a penalty advantage here. The Bulls. Akafana Merver again. Showing that power that he has got. Ambrose Papia going across to Ludwig. Now Papia goes across to Elric Lowe. Still 22 metres out from the try line. Glasgow's defence has been at 90% throughout the game. Matt Fagerson gets the turnover. No, he doesn't. The penalty goes the way of the Blues. Sorry, to the Bulls. Player leaving feet, they say. And Turner can't quite believe it. Wow. So now they've got a chance to kick this one for the corner with Johan Hussen. Oh, I thought he kicked it dead. My heart just dropped there, but 5 metres out from the line now for the Bulls. This is to level the game and take us to extra time if the kick does not go over, although Johan Hussen has nailed a majority of his other kicks throughout the game. Must be 80 minutes now, says Manny M. They have got 5 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Who's in possession? It's going to be the Bulls, 5 metres out from the line. And come on the Bulls, silence a bit of Northern Hemisphere fans, please. Says Papa Rumpel there. And Acha van der Merwe getting a little bit of medical attention to his ankle. That is, of course, not what he will want with one line-out throw remaining. He has to get this one straight. If he does not, this game will be over. I take back everything I said about the Bulls. Can they smash and grab this? I think that they've got a decent chance of being able to do so because at the end of the day, Glasgow rolling maul defence has been strong throughout this game, but they're only 5 metres out from the line. Acha van der Merwe throws it in. Was it straight enough? Good defence there from the Bulls as they look to come over the top. There's an advantage now again, and it's a knock-on from Nassim Carr. They will go back for the penalty. There is the full-time siren. Do they want to take it quickly? The Bulls, they do not. They will once again kick this one for the corner. That is for collapsing the maul. Do you know the All Black team? Not yet, but it will be announced on Monday, and we will be announcing it on the channel as well, ladies and gents. But this is an extremely close game between these two sides now. 5 points difference. If the Bulls score and it converted, they will go to extra time, I believe. But now Acha van der Merwe about to throw this ball in. Goes in. Nicely taken by the Bulls again. They're only 5 metres out. They're working it towards the try line. But the Bulls, if they can sack this, they will win the URC. They are going to be over the line. Where is the ball? The referee cannot find it, and it hasn't come out. It's held up, and that is the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Glasgow Warriors, away from home, have won the URC. 21 points to 16. They have done it against all odds. They are champions. Congratulations, Franco Smith. So in a way, South Africa did win and have a stain in the Glasgow team, says Albert. Well done, Glasgow, well played. And we want an exciting final and we're getting it, said Lilia B. We certainly are. And that is a massive performance from Glasgow. Winning their game in the semi-final away from home. Winning the final away from home. Yes, after all the help the ref gave the Bulls, justice prevails, and well done, Glasgow. Can't say they didn't do it in a halfway held up, says Salvatore there. And I think Asafo Moa is a good fit, says Lave, and also well done, Scotland, says Robert. Congratulations, says Jacqueline, and Bulls. Glasgow, well done, says Manny M there as well. But the Glasgow Warriors by 5 points. How was the ref? Whistle heavy, I would say. In the end, there were, well, I want to get the stats, 17 penalties against Glasgow compared to the 10 against the Bulls. But I think the tackling, I mentioned about it, tackling percentages can sometimes win you a final. 89% of tackles made by Glasgow, who had to make 100 throughout this game. Whereas we saw 37 missed tackles for the Bulls, 78% tackle completion. Unfortunately, with numbers like that, it does make it very hard to get themselves the victory. I told you so. Glasgow have players shut Bulls up for a while, says Smith. And yes, the tears of South Africans, says Bill there, and well done. Great one to beat the Bulls on the home ground, says Steve. And Stormers Munster and now Glasgow, happy for them, says Bystander. And OMG Bulls WF, I am ashamed to be a Southern Hemisphere person, Far says there. Are you freaking kidding me? Well done, Glasgow, against all odds. The fans must be livid. Hope everyone drives back home safely. I'm not a Bulls fan. I would hurt harder. And we just threw their game away, says Jaden. So bum for the Bulls was, this was their year. Says Denzel and thanks, Hamish. Cheers, all well done, Scotland. Says cool story, bro. So now, 3 years of the URC, we've had a South African victor, or a champion, an Irish champion, and a Scottish champion. What nation are we going to get next year? That is the big question. I see in the Barbarians game, Shota Hori is actually lining up the kick. He is the hooker replacement for Japan. Everyone watching on for his attempt at the post. Congratulations to the Glasgow Warriors. What a fantastic victory for them. Thanks for the commentary, says Robert. No worries at all. And thank you very much for your generosity earlier on the live stream. It was greatly appreciated. Of course, it is going to go towards the food that we buy tomorrow. And now the South Africans are trying to separate themselves from the Bulls. And the winner's England versus New Zealand. That is going to be at around the 6th or 5th of July, I believe it is. When that one is going to be taking place. Glasgow, the new Leinster. Says Smith, and thank you, Hamish. Always making the commentary entertaining. Great call, and stop doing these silly games, Hammy. Do some wife-carrying comp instead. And thanks, Hamish, says Jacqueline. And thank you, Kiwi Lads, for some fantastic works for the grand final live streams. And yeah, it feels weird that 2 competitions have come to a close now. The fact that there is no more URC and no more Super Rugby for the rest of this year. But of course, URC we are going to see at the end of the year, of course. But yeah, it does look like the Barbarians are going to win their game against the Fijians 45 points to 32, more than likely. EKC says Lave, and also we've got their Love the Kiwi Lads commentary, says Glenn Woods. And yeah, it is greatly appreciated you being here for this contest right to the end of this match as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for being here. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. All Black squad announcement on Monday. Also soon we will get to find out who Rassi Erasmus is picking for his Irish squad. So be sure, keep an eye out for that as well. You had game in the box, Bulls. I bet you let it slip away with bad options, tackling and bad options, says Carol. And well done, Glasgow, from a Stormer supporter, says Richard. And party time. And the chat's over. The finals, big love, says Blues Nate. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for being here. And I will see you all for the Monday squad announcement for the All Blacks, as well as next week, where we have got plenty more games taking place for the under-20s, as well as the Māori All Blacks playing up against the Japanese. But thank you all very much. I will see you all for the next one.